Hey kids, get ready for one of the greatest podcasts you'll ever hear because my boy Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know him as Opie from the Opie and Anthony and the Opie and everybody else. Opie, who's been broadcasting forever, starting in Rochester, New York, where I'm still sitting. My name is Brother Wheeze. I've had a show for 35 years in the morning, and you can hear it on iHeartRadio if you want to, but I don't get the guests Opie gets. Opie's show right here, and before and after, you know, you'll be hearing not only Opie's takes, but some of his best buddies like Sherrod Small, funnier than hell, Vic Henley, you know, Chef Carl. Opie will take regular people off the street. That's the way I love to do it. I get yelled at my radio station for booking people that aren't famous. I love taking anybody, whoever you are I'm listening to, come on, because that's how Opie does, and it's funny. Look at Chef Carl. Chef Carl's friggin' hilarious, and he's just a bum. I just said that to piss him off. He's no bum. He's a big-time chef. But Chef Carl's funnier than hell. He didn't even know it. Opie just picked him up off the street. So enough of my crap. Get ready to hear a great podcast, and you should subscribe, and you must already be if you're listening to the OpieRadio. My boy Opie is right here.
OpieRadio.
Radio podcast, and this week I find myself in the neighborhood, the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I'm on 72nd Street at one of my favorite beer joints. It's called Gephardt's, and I got the owner of Gephardt's in front of me, Matt.
Hello.
I love your joint, brother.
Thank you.
And thanks for having us, because I came in here cold, like, I would like to do
I saw you were shivering.
I would like to do my podcast from your cool beer joint. And you were like, yeah, right on, man. So we're doing it for the first time. Vic Henley has arrived. Hi, Vic. That's Matt. He owns Gephardt's here. No, that was Dave.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, get on mic. That was Dave.
Sure, dudes with chin hair look the same to me.
Dave has no chin hair. There are no hipsters.
No, Matt looks the part. Dave, not so much, right? Yeah, grab a stool over there, Vic.
Well, Dave was a good.
Wait, you got to eat these mics.
Sorry.
I got really crappy equipment. If you haven't figured it out yet,
I don't know where we are, or what's going on.
All right, I think I just gave you volume too. Try that.
All right.
It's kind of pathetic because you know where we were with our careers. You're laughing. Look! I had to haul that.
I saw the hand truck, and then I saw the video where the one fell in the puddle. You dropped that in the puddle, right?
Just in case you thought that was a BS
No, it wasn't
video.
a bit.
No, it's not a bit. And
I
then,
knew it.
And then I had to figure out how to set this whole thing up to continue up my radio career.
I recognized your sadness as real, and embracing. You were very embracive about it. You weren't whining.
No.
There's no whine. It's more of a recap,
Right.
with just a little tear at the end, just a little, and then onward and upward.
Yes. Oh, I've been humbled, Vic. I've been humbled just a little bit. Matt, this is Matt's joint, and we love it. Vic loves it too.
I've been here
a couple
before
times.
we came.
Yeah,
and
we've
did
seen
the
Vic
bubba.
around here before.
You have? And explain to the people that don't know Gephardt's on the Upper West Side.
Yeah, it's a bottle shop, bar, and
Yeah.
restaurant. So we've got about 300 different bottled beers, bottles and cans, and then 16 rotating draft beers, mostly craft, high-end import, and then your grandpa's favorite old swill, grandpa cans. There's something for everybody.
What kind of grandpa cans?
Genesee.
Oh, nice.
We've got Peels, Old Mill,
PBR.
PBR, absolutely.
Schlitz?
Valentine. No Schlitz. I can't get Schlitz right now, but as soon as I can, I will.
They're coming back, I believe.
Yeah,
If-
but
if-
Peels came back.
I'm not
Apparently,
familiar.
the grandson of the owner revitalized the brand, and it's.
Right.
I mean, it was that was one of the beers that inspired the Grandpa's Fridge, which is at my other location.
Okay.
So-
I was.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Sherrod, can you grab your mic? I got to plug another mic in.
Iron City? Back to the Iron City?
Iron City? No, we don't have Iron
Well,
City.
tell me what Peels is, because I've never heard of it. Where's it
Peels
from?
is. I mean, it's right now it's being brewed at Captain Lawrence. But I think it was an upstate New York product.
Oh, okay.
Way
All right.
back when. But it was, that cheap stuff that you had to buy because it was that price.
Oh, certainly.
Hold on, Sherrod is setting up his own mic.
He's working on his equipment.
It's a two-man job.
Yeah, we're a top-notch
No, that's broken
organization
too.
right now.
No, he's got it on there.
What is Iron City?
Swing around
Pittsburgh.
your neck.
That's the local down in. That's the Geneseo. That's the local.
Oh, okay.
Blue collar
Yeah.
working man's
Right.
beer. You know, Barry Bonds made everybody mad when he played for the Pirates because when they would bitch about him. He would go, yeah, go down there with all those mullet heads drinking your Iron City, and then when he started his career, 0 for 2 years, no hits at all in Pittsburgh, he had to go down to the bar and have some Iron Cities with the boys just to get his grace back.
Oh, nice. Very nice. I was talking about those old school beers with Carl last week, and it just brings you back to being a kid when you drink a Schlitz or a PBR, right?
I can remember going to the Sadie Hawkins dance.
Lord have mercy.
How old is this
Sadie
guy?
there? Did you know Sadie?
How old is Vic Henley?
Lord have mercy. That was before the sock hops. Was Potsy and fucking Ralph Mouth with
Mouth
you?
were both there.
Did he take a tram there?
Oh, shit.
All right, the Sadie.
But no, it was for the girls. That's the guy.
Yeah,
You
no,
in
I
high
know what it
school,
is, but
whatever,
we're trying to make believe we're not as old as we are.
My buddy had the.
That might actually come back after all this hashtag shit.
Sure.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, because we don't know what to do anymore.
Put the girls in charge, man.
Right, with
Bring
this
back Sadie Hawkins.
Bring
Day.
it back.
Permanently.
Yes.
Then, no question, we know.
Yeah.
She
Then
started
we know
it.
Everything's fine.
I like
Yes,
Exactly.
That'll help the Me Too.
Let's do the
movement.
hashtag Ask Me Too.
Hey, we're gonna get along.
Regular people are funny.
We're gonna get along with
Regular
that.
people can be amazingly
From
funny.
Geb
You
Hartz.
own this place?
Yeah.
How long you own this place?
2 years.
This place is great.
You've
Thank
been
you.
here too, right?
I don't remember.
I'm not lying.
I think I have, but I don't know if it
I
was
thought I was
within the
in
last
here
2
with
years.
Nobody can be sure.
What was it before you had it?
It was nothing for 2 years. Before that, it was
It literally sat here.
Kosher Steakhouse.
Kosher
That's what
Steakhouse.
it was, right. It sat here for 2
How'd
years.
that not go?
And were they connected to the kosher place right next door? Were they connected to
Not
that place?
connected.
Okay.
No.
So two koshers next door to each other ain't gonna
Upper
work
West
out.
Side.
Shrod, this place has a great vibe. It has a ton of. Speaking of which, what kind of beer you want?
What
do you want?
What do you prefer? What do you recommend?
I'll just go get you guys a couple of fun ones. How's
Okay.
that?
All right.
All right, because
Yeah.
they're all rotating draft lists, so there's all sorts of.
How
fun
many
stuff.
drafts do you have in?
16.
Damn.
They brought us one of Al Capone's bourbons.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because
Right,
Carl
right.
was with us last time.
I think we still have.
Carl
some.
likes the bourbon.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well,
Yeah, Carl's being a star right now.
I'll
with Guy
bring
Fieri.
some beers back with Dave.
I'm sure
All right,
it'll
cool.
be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect,
and then
yes.
we'll talk about the beers. But that's Matt from Geb Hartz up here on
Matt!
the Upper West Side.
Matto!
It's where are we? 72nd Street between West End and Broadway. If you're in New
Yeah.
York City, man, this is definitely a joint to check out.
Yeah, some things walking by here, some tasties.
Well, I don't know. You don't.
Nah, I saw some down this way.
You don't get a lot of tasties on the Upper West Side.
Shit, you get the international flavors.
Unless you're into baby carriages, then
well,
there's
not the
plenty of
locals.
tasties.
Not the locals. All the people who visit the city and go to Central Park.
Yeah.
They wander out the park.
Yeah.
And they be fine as hell.
Well, we're a little too far from that.
No, we're not.
No.
We just came through the park.
I just walked through the park.
I agree with him.
No, I mean they don't come down this far.
Look, just because it's your neighborhood, you don't want to seem creepy.
Look,
Yeah.
no, keep look.
This ain't the hour right now. They're gonna
No, I got you.
cute.
All right,
Families.
We'll rate the
Families.
girls as they walk
Okay,
by this
bet.
place. So far, we've seen 2 4s and a 5.5.
Now, did you see the line for the Haagen-Dazs?
Yes.
What is that about?
I don't know.
It's around the corner.
Yeah. It's because it's the first warm day and everybody wants ice cream.
yeah,
I
that's
guess.
what I'm
I don't have
thinking.
any idea, but
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
School just got out.
And
they're
it's all a bunch
wandering
of kids.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we went from winter right into summer
The
once
pla-
again.
But that place is so
40 to
tiny.
70.
40 to
Right,
70.
right.
My allergies. Do you guys get allergies?
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yes.
Sometimes.
I
Mine
used to
comes
never.
and goes.
I never got 'em
It
as
just
a
depends.
youth.
If it's really bad, then I get it. If not, you
Yeah.
know.
No,
I love we have the Beverly Hillbillies.
Look at the little shorty and the little strap right there.
What's up,
Shorty's
Dave?
tasty.
How are you, buddy?
Hey, here's our pal
Back me
Dave.
up on this, Vic.
What now?
Sorry, you know what this
Shorty closer to the.
Okay.
Wait, Dave, get on
Oh,
mic
what's
and
up,
explain what's going on here, buddy.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
Hi, Sherrod. Nice
Wait,
to meet
which-
you, bro.
We have the Jethro Bodine velvet rope. This is the clamp it version of you can't get in here. This area is cordoned off, by God. We got to take a picture and post it. It's just basically Jethro Bodine's belt. It's just a piece of rope across the alfresco door between us and the sidewalk of harassing New Yorkers.
That's protecting us. That
It
piece
is.
of rope.
It's way to go, Dave.
Hey, I think
It's a hint. It's a bad hint.
Yes.
Now, Dave, are we drinking Founders or
No,
is it
so
just
you
a glass?
actually- I'm giving you the Long Island City Lust for Life.
All
Iggy
right.
Pop little reference there.
Yeah, I like the Iggy
Sherrod's
Pop
got
reference.
the-
Wait, what does it taste like?
It's kind of like a northeast tropical.
He likes orange in his stuff.
Yeah,
said
it's like
tropical.
orangey. Yeah,
Yeah.
tropical.
All right.
He like a taste of citrus.
He just do it yourself.
Yeah, but Carl, but you ignored the fact that at the end of our run at Sirius, that we were getting into all the tequilas and the
Oh
bourbons.
my goodness,
Yeah.
absolutely sure.
And Carl turned me on to that one tequila that I forgot the name right
You mean
now.
Ron or Carl?
No, well, Ron's was really good too.
Number one was delicious.
Come on, Vic. It's a couple things.
there's
All right,
good
there you
Ron.
go.
Come on now. Let's come tasty's walking by here.
That was a taste, miss.
Goddamn tasty now.
and wah, 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 wah.
Okay.
Okay, you're
True
gonna get
that.
some.
True that.
Kiwi toy store employees walking by through.
A polar opposite just walked by. We went from a 9.5 to a 2
Ships
real
passing
quickly.
in the night.
No, it was the
Herradura?
Yes,
That's a good one.
Herradura.
but the red label,
Okay.
which is outstanding.
There's so many Casamigos, Avion, you know.
the Ron White,
Milagro's a good one.
the Ron White tequila was
Number one.
I like the glass.
was good.
Right.
I like
And
the
you,
cat
you brought
DJing.
them beer and you
I
brought
know
me.
that.
Oh, which one is this? Which one am I drinking?
So that's a San Francisco.
San
from
Francisco.
Anchor Brewing.
Okay.
It's a
Anchor
white
Brewing.
IPA.
Okay, well, I got it. Sorry.
White IPA for my black.
Black man got that white beer.
You know what? I'm back off of that.
Black Lives Matter.
It's
Come
been
on.
too long.
Vic's got Larceny.
I missed you
The
guys.
Al Capone
Jesus.
bourbon.
This is the
Larceny.
Al Capone bourbon.
Is it really? Can
I want to taste of
Yeah,
that.
it's really good. Have a little sip.
Can I?
He brought me this last time. It's absolutely.
Ooh, can I have a little of that?
Right.
Of course.
Al Capone
I'm going to do this
bourbon?
all around of shots. I'll
Okay.
be back.
It made me want to put Geraldo in a vault.
Oh, that smells. Yes, right. And just find Marlboros and a penny, like you.
Dave just
I
slipped
nothing.
on our power strip and almost took
did
us
he?
off already. So
That's how. Again, the level that we've achieved. This
Right.
is how easy it is to take us completely off the air.
This is
Back
dope.
then, it required satellite interference.
yeah. How do I tell Dave that I don't like IPAs?
You know what?
Me and Carl were just talking about IPAs. You know why they're so bitter?
Why?
So they could survive the trip to America.
Oh, so they put what? Extra barley or something?
Extra whatever the F to keep it, fresh.
I like it.
So how long?
I like anything. Though,
It's
pretty much.
actually pretty good. It's pretty
Do they
good.
put stuff in it depending on how long it takes to get to America?
They make it. The reason IPAs are so bitter is because it has to survive the trip back in
didn't
the
know
day,
that.
and
Back
then it
in the
became a
day.
thing.
And then it just tastes like that. So if you're going to make one, it should always taste like that.
Right.
Of course, that's how people
Right,
remember
right.
it. It's, oh.
But they didn't make it so bitter for people. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
Everybody knows Hope. What's up?
Well, it's my neighborhood. What's up, man? Our kids play together.
Okay.
Well, you got to get past the high level security. You got to get level. That's razor wire right there.
You gotta
Be
jump
careful.
double dutch before you go.
Yeah, scream double dutch before you run in.
When you come back, come on up and join the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. Wait, you know Ben too?
Dave knows everybody.
You know that me and my
You're bringing me two now, Dave.
his daughter and my
Double
son.
Oh, same age, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a good guy. He works on some really
They
cool
like
things.
each other
Yeah.
a lot
Do
too.
they get along really well?
Oh,
Perfect.
Yes.
Cute. Good.
Yes, very nice.
Well, it can get real clicky up here on the Upper West. You know how
Oh,
they
yes.
are. You know how these families
Yeah.
kid.
There's ins and outs.
are. Pregnant women showing up for daycare because 5 years early before their kids even born.
Oh, you gotta
They're
get 'em in.
these these preschools.
These
and
schools
day-
are real
all this-
business,
It's
man.
insane.
I'm so happy my daughter just got into the school in Jersey City that she had to take like 3 tests for and 2 interviews. I'm like, God damn.
Are you serious?
They only let like 7 kids
Interviews,
in a year.
yes.
Interviews.
I bet your daughter interviews very well, though.
She did. She
I've
nailed
talked-
it. She killed it.
I've only talked to her twice, and
She killed the block building.
she's a much better interviewer than you are.
Oh, much better.
Me and my wife went through that whole process, but we were like not like everyone else. We're like, this is a bunch of horse shit.
It is.
My daughter was 3, and they're doing interviews and seeing how she plays with others,
Other kids,
and then
yes.
deciding if she was good enough for the school. And then they also, because they're very inclusive,
Right.
they pick 1 or 2 funny ones.
Wait, like funny kids? What do you mean funny ones?
Just to round it out.
What do you mean funny ones?
To
Like
make
kicked
it-
in the head by God?
Not, mean
Not
something.
funny like you and Vic,
Right.
But funny ones.
You mean odd.
Because they want to balance everything
Right.
else.
Some odd kids.
Quirky.
You need some of that in there.
Eclectic.
Now, are the odd kids usually rich too, or is just
Probably. That's
Oh,
my
they're the
guess.
They make
richest.
room
Be
for
my
that?
guess.
They're the richest.
That's what I figured.
And then they throw, 1 or 2 of
This is
color.
the same
1 or
one,
2
right?
of color in there.
So I can do this.
This is a private school, private.
Yeah.
You know they had that beef with that whole West Side, the public school that was trying to force kids out and trying to get kids in,
Yeah.
and all the parents got angry. This right up the street.
Yeah.
and all these parents got angry because it was bringing kids in
the
from
video went viral.
That video went viral.
Wait.
It was angry. Then a new principal came in and was like, I'm ashamed of the parents
That was
in
the
school.
Obama school. It was one of those blue ribbon schools.
I don't know. I know it's one of the top schools in Manhattan, but it's a public school.
Let me
And it's
explain.
the whitest public school in New York City. I forget the name.
No, it's a public
East.
school.
Public school, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a block over. Let me explain it, Vic. So this school is a public school that everybody wants their kids to go to.
Okay.
And you buy in this neighborhood because the school is great and all that. And then this area exploded to the point that now they rezoned it.
Rep.
And so now these people that live in this area that were expecting to put their kid in this particular school, now they've moved them to another school.
Yeah.
That's a little.
And they bring
Not
kids in
as
from
good.
another neighborhood.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a little. It's sketchier.
Not what they signed up for.
It's sketchy, but it's not sketchy
But the
on
thing
any
is-
level that you should freak out. But
Okay.
these people up here, they freak
Freak
out.
Of course.
The
Yes.
video is.
And
They
what-
went off in this video, man. You see these parents, it's like this. What year is this, first of all? The principal was embarrassed.
What was it? Some kind of town hall to
They
talk
had like
about
a-
the new zoning or whatever?
Yeah, yes.
And then this lady said, what did she say?
She said something bad. That
I
was the
think
lady
she
in the
said she
short lady
didn't
with the
want her
glasses.
kid going to school with black kids.
Something
I
like
think
that.
it was as bad as that.
I think she was saying the poor or
Or something like-
disadvantaged, but yeah.
No. It was.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, we knew
alluding
what it
to-
was.
No, there was that.
No, actually, she actually did the faux pas.
She said she don't want her kids going to school with Black Panther.
I love Black
She don't want
Panther.
Wakanda breaking
Come
out in
on.
3rd grade.
I love Black Panther.
And this was supposed to be like a private whatever school meeting
the
or
school-
whatever.
here's the
and
problem
then
is-
someone filmed it and
Right.
it went viral.
Okay.
The problem is, it's public school. So
Right.
every kid in New York City has a right to be there.
Certainly.
If you live in a certain zone.
Right.
And if they change the zones, then you got to allow those kids in.
Yeah.
It's public. This is city shit.
My neighbor is a professor at Barnard, Columbia.
Oh,
And
fancy.
so and her she met her husband. They're divorced now, but they met at Princeton. He's a research scientist, so they're both just geniuses.
Right.
And they were livid when they started having to go through this because the Dalton School is in our neighborhood, and
Right.
so they were going to go that route a little bit because they're brainiacs and their kids are really sharp too. They're both
Right.
graduated now. One went to Tufts, the other one just graduated from Vanderbilt.
Nice.
But they went through this same thing, and I remember they come in. They were so sweet and nice, and it was the only time I would see them like smoking.
Yes.
They're fuck! They're screaming. They're so mad and everything. And I'm like, man, what's wrong, Kathleen? And then she started explaining because they knew their kids were sharp, and yet they were getting this highfalutin country club exclusion treatment. It was just so they just put them in a PS something over there on the east side of our neighborhood where they both went.
And
it
they
was
thrived.
an amazing school.
Yeah.
They thrived. Again, tough graduate, Vanderbilt graduate. Bang, boom, bang.
In the end, it doesn't really matter. But you get tricked. I'm from Long Island, obviously, middle class, whatever. And then I'm in this crazy ass neighborhood where they put the pressure on you to get your kid into a very good school. Cheers. I missed you guys.
It's all the pressure.
No, but
That's what she was mad for
Yeah.
falling for the trick herself
Thank
a
you.
little
Me
bit.
and my wife started
Right,
falling for it,
right.
and then we're going through the interview process, and then my kid was on a waiting list for one school,
Right.
and then you're like, well, do we hope that he's moved up and someone drops out, and then he could go to that school? But if we take that chance, then he might have to go to the public school, and you
Right.
just explain what's going on with the public school.
I'm telling you, it's
and then we started thinking, we're like, oh my God, this is all horseshit. It doesn't matter.
this girl.
What are you looking at?
Right here,
Another
coming.
hottie.
All right, now
I
we
know
got
what
another
big like.
9. We got
Another
another.
This
hottie.
is another tasty
Another
now.
hottie,
Yeah, but
another hottie.
it's 1 out of 10 tops.
That's all right. I'll take
That's
that
nice.
one.
So,
But
my-
that is. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. It's all right. We finally realized, let's just chill out. We got good kids. We work hard.
Stressful.
They'll be fine whatever school they go to.
That's right,
But,
yeah.
But my daughter is only 5. She's in her 3rd year of school, and she was interviewing at like 3.
Yeah.
That's
There's
right.
more coming.
That's
Actually, I think
crazy.
she was interviewing before. No, she was 2. She was 2 when she started interviewing. Ben, what's going on, bud? How are you?
Now, she in elementary school. What's up, brother?
This is how this is going to go.
Yes,
Nice
it
to meet
is.
you, I'm
I
Ben.
like it.
And I couldn't
I'm
be
okay. I'm
happier.
Vic,
Nice
you look
to meet
familiar.
you.
I think
My
I might have
pleasure.
met you before.
Well,
Now, what do you see? You see Opie doing some disturbing things in the neighborhood?
Not really. Just walking around mostly.
Letting his kids and dogs shit in the street, not picking them up.
We were just talking about, did you go through some of the preschool weird
Oh, yeah.
fancy stuff?
Our kids went to the same school for a little
Okay,
while.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
went to up the block.
You could say it.
West
We're not
Side
there.
Montessori.
Yeah, we went to
Right.
West Side Montessori. It was nice and all, but then you get with these parents that are really competitive. You're waiting outside the classroom, pick up your kid, and they'll lean into you and go, "So how many languages does your kid?"
Did you get
like-
some of this?
Yeah, I got that.
Ben knows. So
How many
Power
languages
mom.
does your daughter speak?
She cries and she speaks English.
The perfect woman already. That was the perfect woman. Oh, she cries and speaks English.
That was sort of our answer. We're like, she knows one, kinda. And then they brag.
God.
They're like, well, we got our kid taking Chinese.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what? Let the kid be a kid.
That kid's gonna hate his parents when he gets older.
Pig Latin and Ebonics. That's what we're teaching.
I mean, it's stressful getting these kids into school.
Yeah, but it's stupid.
It's all
In the end,
costs a
it's
lot.
It's tougher than like college.
It's
Easily,
crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
But they're like, you don't get him into this preschool. He ain't going to Harvard. I'm like, I don't
No,
give a
that's
fuck
not
if my
true.
kid goes to Harvard or not.
Then that's also not true, by the way.
Of course.
You know.
yeah, we're doing public next year.
You're doing public next year? Yeah.
Right around the block here.
Yeah.
Wait, there was
That's
controversy with that school.
I saw the
Yeah, you saw the
articles,
video. We
yeah,
just talked about that.
Yeah, we were just talking. Do you know what was said on the video?
That's
Basically,
short.
I have the clips, but I basically it's just anger because they're going to put low-income students in.
Yeah,
if
that's
I
what it was.
understand
Yeah.
correctly.
Bringing
Yeah.
low income
And the
students
one
in.
woman was, speaking her mind, thinking she was, not being filmed by anybody, but someone
Yeah.
filmed it and put it online.
Did she say the N word, or she
No,
just said
no,
she
no,
just
no,
euphemism?
She was hinting at
euphemized.
Yeah.
she was hinting at black.
No, she was saying black and
Yeah.
Latino. That's what she was
Yeah.
talking about. Or
People
anybody who's
that
not
like
can afford
Jay-Z.
to go there.
Did she say people that like
But can I-
Wu-Tang Clan?
No.
They have
But I do got to bring this around. There's a high school in this area that's very black.
Which Martin Luther King?
Yeah, it's about 4 blocks that way.
Oh, the name
right?
of it is Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King, okay.
Yeah, it's the blackest name of a black school.
And then
yeah.
there's a McDonald's. When
when it comes out?
When you're as white as me,
Yeah.
walking past that McDonald's is scary.
Colin Quinn used to have a joke about getting on the subway and a black high school get on. He's like, hip hop high school, just got on the subway. That's what that McDonald's turned into.
There's a McDonald's right around the corner.
Right.
We walk by it a lot, and around 3 o'clock, we know to avoid it. Anyone in this area knows
my
to.
favorite one.
It looked like the first season of 106 in Park.
I call it Black Donald's. That's my favorite McDonald's in the city. It's Black Donald's.
If you
Ron
want
Donald on that one. Ronnie Don.
if you want to see
Got a
it,
pick in the clown wig.
if you want to see a show though, you go there around 3 o'clock. They have 3 or 4 security
That's
guards
hilarious.
at that McDonald's all the time.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
fights every day.
Yeah.
And then man, someone's got to explain the N-word thing because that word isn't.
They throw it around. But you, even if you go, if you
You
see
got to
them-
explain that crap to me, Sherrod, because I honestly don't get it how serious that word truly is. When you hear it 100 times within
Yeah.
2 minutes
Yeah.
with the youth,
But you know what's nice
Doesn't
when it
doesn't
comes.
that
doesn't
word
mean
you-
anything. That takes it away.
It loses all
It
its
does.
power,
It
right?
does.
That's
but
the point.
Thank you.
It does, but sometimes I see young kids, different races, black, white, all using it together.
Ain't right.
And I go like
Right.
this. Good for them.
No,
These good
We
for
are
these
coming
young.
together.
They actually get what it is.
Donald Trump is not dividing us.
Yes. The
I
kids
like
go like
that.
this, man.
You know
it ain't
what?
nothing to them.
That's a good take. I like
That's a
that.
better.
I like that.
That's playing devil's advocate. It's still bringing young kids together, and they don't see the big deal of it because they don't use it like their parents use it.
Know what's sad about
Most
that
times.
though? Because we're all older. Now let's go around the table. We all use the word and watch
Nigga, go.
watch how uncomfortable it gets.
Vic
It's a
might get
little
it
different.
in.
What?
You two motherfuckers definitely ain't saying it.
I'll just start naming prior
school a
albums.
block away.
I'll ride the fence and just name
you'll
prior
play it
albums.
safe, right?
I'll play the safety.
On that one Nas
safety
album.
net, exactly. Y'all right? It's totally nice.
Which one is your Nas's favorite album of yours?
I got a music question for you in a minute or two. How's that Schaefer bet?
It's
Schaefer.
It's $2, so that's
Yeah,
it.
but
Are you a Diamondback fan?
I am a Diamondback
I was in
fan.
Phoenix
I'm
2
from
weeks ago.
Phoenix,
Yeah, I lived in Phoenix. I started doing stand-up in Tempe.
All
Lived there
right,
for a year.
yeah.
That's
I
where you
just went
started?
back.
And yeah, did you live in Phoenix?
I lived there till I was about 20, and then back and forth here. And
Oh, like
everywhere.
you grew up there?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. And
Yeah.
then we just went back for spring break, for Bonnie's spring break, and
Nice.
did a baseball game, so it was good.
Nice, little
Yeah.
spring training.
Yeah, no, it was actually.
Oh, their
it's the
season
season
started, right,
opener.
right.
It's 20-year anniversary.
Arizona rules, man.
20
Oh,
years?
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, 98.
I remember when I moved there.
98 was 20 years ago.
They had the biggest. Oh yeah,
Holy shit.
Their
I'm like, Opie, I don't do
AAA
time
team-
anymore.
their AAA team sold out. They set the attendance record almost every year in AAA before they got the Diamondbacks.
Before they got the Diamondbacks.
And I remember when I moved there, and like mid 80s. They're like, we're going to get a team any minute now.
Yeah.
It still took longer than they thought.
What was the
but
AAA team?
the Phoenix Firebirds.
They're
amazing.
feeders for the Giants.
Yeah, absolutely. And they would. And they were, it was one of those where like, since there wasn't a pro team, everybody showed up for
Yeah, it was
AAA.
a
and it was,
nice stadium in Scottsdale.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Totally, yes, yeah.
The stadium was how big?
It was, I don't even remember. It's just
10,000 something.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah,
really?
but
15?
I don't even know if
I
it's
don't.
there anymore. They built all
Probably.
those
Oh yeah,
features-
absolutely.
Oh, it is.
Right.
When I
no,
lived-
it's not there. You're right.
it's
They
not,
tore it down.
okay,
Right.
When I lived in Rochester, we did AAA up there, and
They
Oh,
kill
that's
it
right,
also.
that's right.
in a lot
I think
of ways,
they kill it also.
AAA ball was so much fun to
fun.
watch.
It's like
so
it's
much fun.
yeah.
Well, like Homer Simpson says, and I'm quoting, is you get the right blend of has-beens trying to get their way back in, that have drifted down, trying
the
to
young guns.
and the young guns coming up. It's a wonderful mix of hope and pain.
That's where I met.
Yeah, what's the Springfield- what's the
stealing-
Springfield team?
Isotopes.
Isotopes. That's where I met Kurt Schilling. Kurt Schilling
oh,
was
yeah,
a
and
young gun.
and
I knew Kurt when he was 20, 21 years old playing for the Rochester Red Wings, and back then they already knew this guy was going to be one of the best.
And a racist.
And we, well, it's kind of
Bloody
weird.
sock racist.
It's kind of weird that my old pal is a bit different.
crazy.
He's a bit different than what I remember him.
Sure. Well,
back
he was
in the
20.
day.
He didn't have time to form all of his hate yet.
But some people always knew that once he got older, he would lose 50 mil on a video game.
That's
Some
the
people
best-
do.
The best penance. The best penance.
I can let the racism go for that blunder.
Certainly. Correct.
Can I tell a quick Kurt Schilling story?
Yes.
So fast forward, I'm where am I now? I'm in Buffalo, New York. He's now a big fucking star in the majors. And
Maybe
I go
with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, during the
oh, no,
World
Series.
Yeah.
That was
It was him and Randy Johnson.
Phillies was his first.
no, it wasn't Phil.
Putting his name on the map was
Did
Phillies.
he play
I
for the
believe.
Astros?
I don't know.
Whom? Yes. I think that's a nice pull before the Phillies, maybe. Even.
I think it was the Astros.
See, this is
So-
where we
Really?
need a studio and
So,
research.
I was working in Buffalo overnights. My program director moved to Florida. I went down on spring break to see my sister, and I look up this guy, Ken Carson, who was one of my PDs. He goes, let's go out. So he brings me to a steak joint and then a strip club. I have no fucking money. I'm making $12,000 a year, so I'm shaking just going into this place and paying the cover. Like, how the hell am I even going to cover this, right? And he's not making much money.
Right.
Long story short, it's spring training. Who walks in? Kurt Schilling and the entire team. He's got two bimbos on his arms. All the strippers in this joint knew him, right?
Yeah.
He sits down, and I tell Ken, I know that guy. He goes, yeah, right. So I kind of wave, and Kurt loses his mind. Holy shit, Hope, I haven't seen you in years.
Oh!
For a
Can't
couple
believe
of
it.
years at this point. And then all of a sudden, everything is on me.
I would have killed 3 strippers that night.
Rock star.
right.
I would have been drowning business in the back.
Something.
It's on
Something
Kurt.
crazy. He said everything on him.
Right. Lap dances.
Everything.
Everything was
Choke
on
outs.
him.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he never forgot. And then I ran into him at Sirius about a year ago.
Right.
And at that point, I haven't seen him in, 10, 12 years. And once again,
He
right
recognized
away.
you right away.
Yeah, because we really bonded up there in Rochester. A
Right.
small little city. I was just starting in radio. He was starting in baseball. Me, him, and Weeze would hang out all the time.
It's probably
on
some of the
Weeze's
best times
boat.
in his life, too, that fucking early
It
on.
was the best times of my life.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson buddied up with Foxworthy when he was a rookie with the Expos.
Right.
And they shared spring training with the Braves down in West Palm Beach.
Right.
And we do the club every year. And so only thing
They
is
play in West Palm?
The Montreal and the Braves were shared the facility in West
West
Palm
Palm.
for spring training.
I didn't know that.
And then Montreal turned into Washington, and
Right.
now they're separate. But when the only thing they were advertising him at the time was Randy Johnson, the tallest rookie that will ever play, and they didn't know he was
Yeah.
going to be the big unit. They just were they were playing the total tall card.
Right,
That was
right.
it.
Right,
And
like
so-
a circus freak.
Exactly.
He's a carny.
So we brought him
Come
all out.
see the freak.
We brought him out. Moises Alou. We brought them all out to the comedy club. We hung out with all of them. And they always remember Foxworthy. They fucking forgot me instantly. But then down through the years, every few years, Foxworthy would be somewhere like Mr. Opie here.
Right.
And 5-6 years go by, and Randy Johnson's getting fucking mobbed by something after a Mariners game, and he looks up and sees Foxworthy. Oh, Jeff! And Randy's he's walking straight over every
That
single
was
time.
it, right?
Didn't Moises
Man.
get caught for juicing, too?
I don't think so. I don't
Okay,
think
no.
so.
Who did?
No.
Moises
Moises Alou.
Oh. He was so. You know the Brooklyn Diner on.
Yeah.
50.
Midtown.
Where is that?
57th
57th and
and
7th.
Sixth.
The
Yeah.
7th.
Thank you,
So
Ben.
I would get a booth near the window. One day, his head just went bopping by the window.
Kurt Schilling.
No,
Randy
Johnson.
Okay.
You don't see anyone's
No,
head.
but the head.
Those boots are just high enough you can't really see the people.
Yeah, I forgot, right.
And all of a sudden, this head just went right by the window.
Hang on a
And
second.
I was hanging out with Jim Norton, and we ran out to get his picture, and he was a dick.
He
He
was
would not.
Well, that's
he would
why I
not
was-
take a picture.
Yeah. That's
He
why I
said
was
no?
weird. That,
He
yeah, that's why I was
said
leaving.
How did
No.
how did that feel to you and Little Nori?
I laughed my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. Jim, not so much. He
I
was a
remember
little mad
Kobe
at
did that to me one time.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, shut me down on a pick. This was when when he's like a rookie.
Wow.
I was like this.
Hank
You'll
Aaron-
never make it.
Hank Aaron waved me off. At same spring training one year, Hank Aaron waved me off.
He waved you
I
off?
caught him behind. I saw him. He was moving from one field to another field. You know, they have different, all squads playing.
Yes.
And so I catch him coming out of the bathroom, and I know he's got to circle around to go over here. And if I go around the other side of the building, I'm going to walk out, and it'll just be me and him walking along there together.
Right.
And I had a thing. I wanted him to sign an autograph. I had a ball, and I'm like,
Right.
"Hey, Hammer," and he, "Not signing." So he just yelled, "Not signing," and kept walking.
My fingers hurt.
Yeah, no kidding.
That had to hurt.
I was disappointed.
It scored me when
I
Kobe
was
pushed me
bummed.
away. It
I was
scored me.
bummed.
I
was really
pulled
bummed.
this what you did with Kobe with The Rock.
What happened?
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
And to this day, he's still cool, and he absolutely remembers me from the old days. But at NEW, he came in.
No,
He came
You
in
signed
as a
him?
young, WWF at the time superstar.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're having a good time, man. We knew all the wrestlers back then because we
Right.
were in tight with the McMahon family. And we invited one of our super fans to come in that ran a wrestling fucking website or message board.
Right.
And all of a sudden we go, "Hey, man, blank, I don't want to say his name. Hey, do you have a question for The Rock?" Rock turned and went, "You're blah, blah from the message board?" And long story short, he basically goes, "I'll never do your show again if you're associated with that guy. He's a racist. He says
Wow.
racist stuff on that message board."
I'm with The Rock on this.
And me and Anthony were like, hamina, because he's becoming a big star at that
Right.
point. So,
Did y'all throw that dude out?
huh?
You heard me, Opie.
No, he walked out. We didn't even know what the story
Oh,
was.
he ended
at that
the
point.
interview?
Yes.
walked out.
So I
The
pulled.
Rock walked.
I pulled what you did with Kobe. I said, "You know what? You'll never be as big as." You think I was wrong?
Boy, were we wrong.
Wrong on that one.
Maybe that's what
I was
people
all
need to say to
cocky.
us.
We missed the boat on that shit.
I was all cocky
we
because
missed the boat
because
on
you
that.
know the radio show was on fire back then, right?
And you chose that racist dude?
No, the Rock walked out on us without allowing us to even explain.
I wish Patrice or somebody was in the room.
We
The
didn't
Rock
know.
was ahead of the game on this one, and they didn't
was
know.
ahead of the game.
We,
Yeah, they
real,
didn't
we
know.
truly didn't know. So I'm like, you'll never be as big as.
I wonder what
So
he-
let's fast forward 20 years. I just set up my own podcast
We're
equipment
sitting here-
in a beer
right,
joint.
We're in the velvet rope.
Right. And The Rock is the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Easily.
Oh man.
I wonder what
Man.
racist shit the dude was saying on the website.
It's a long time ago. I didn't even.
Wrestling.
Because first of all,
I mean,
wrestling
yeah,
is
that's
the
not
most
really-
racist
I was
thing.
gonna say.
Even
Yeah,
black,
no,
but black
it
people love the racism of it too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not away from wrestling, but in wrestling, the Iron Sheik and all that shit is
Oh,
the most racist shit
hero
you've seen.
villain, classic hero villain,
The
which
Junkyard Dog.
delves into
We all love the same
racism.
shit. And
Yes.
anything Indian or Native American or Jimmy Fly Snooker with
Superfly Snooker from
they
Fiji.
bringing coconuts on his head.
Right.
Right.
Bobo Brazil.
Money.
Bobo Brazil.
It's the
old
bottom
Bobo
of the
Brazil.
barrel of
Cocoa
racism.
Puff.
Coco Beware.
Right.
All right.
Wrestling is so racist that it's
about the
funny and
Junkyard
it's not
Dog?
harmful.
Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard.
I
Absolutely.
saw him. Remember, I told you one time I saw the Junkyard Dog at Shea Stadium with his family.
Just hanging.
And was like, how are you a human being?
Right.
Me and Tony, my cousin Tony Rock.
Right.
And we were like 10, 11. Junkyard Dog, big as shit with his family.
We're
going
just
into
having a
car.
day.
I'm like, I don't even know how you exist. You bite the cotton out of the fucking corner post.
No, that
and now
was-
you're helping your daughter in the car.
That was George the Animal Steel.
Oh,
did
George,
that.
but no, Junkyard did it
Did
too.
he do it too?
He was the
Okay.
black version of that.
All right.
Animal Steel used to bite in and eat it, but
Yeah.
Chief Wahoo McDaniel.
it's all the most
Remember him?
racist stuff.
With
So
the
how do you-
tomahawk. He had the tomahawk, not
You
the
know who
tomahawk.
died- real?
The tomahawk.
You know who died
He was
recently
his move when
was
he was-
Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, Bruno.
Right.
He was a legend.
He was a legend.
I want to go back to Vic because I got my friend Ben from the neighborhood that happened to just walk by, and now he's drinking a Schaefer
We
with
kidnapped him.
And he lives in Arizona and goes back and forth. So you started comedy in Arizona?
In Arizona, in Phoenix, 1985.
Wow.
With
Yeah.
who?
With
Who was your
Spade,
crew?
David,
I was
David
4.
Spade was. I was recounting all the big Spade stories from the 2 weeks ago when I was there doing the club, and so. But Spade was the main guy. He was 22.
Right.
I was 23.
He was young, face
but
this
he'd been
shit
doing
was-
it since he was 19.
Right.
So he's the veteran. He's 3 years in.
Right.
He's 3 years in. But Michael Bailey, Stan Howard, Dan Horn was a. Do you remember the show Wallace and Ladmo?
Yeah, of course. I was on it twice when I was
What?
a kid.
Yeah.
When I
This
was
is
a
one
kid.
of the-
Yeah. It's like a cartoon show.
It's nostalgic too.
No, it's one of my favorite. So it's one of those things where, like, for a while it had the title of longest running television show in American history.
Yeah.
Because it was a locally produced.
It was like
kids
Captain,
show.
Captain
Started
Kangaroo.
as a radio
local,
show
but-
even before that.
But started
Yeah.
locally, you know. So a lot of things have been on the air for 50 years in these little pockets.
little-
so
yes.
Dan Horn was the ventriloquist on this show, and he had all the puppets. And so when I started doing stand-up, the people would pack the open mic nights because it was a dirty act, and they knew him from the kids show, and they
But he
grew up
was-
with him.
yes.
But then when he got Orson, was his old man puppet, was his name was Old Grumpy Guy.
Yeah.
And he would go on stage, and everybody would love it because it was kind of nasty, and it was the total opposite. It was
Opposite of
like
what he was.
Dirty Sesame Street, right?
Yeah.
So my favorite Spade story ever. Dan Horn, for one time, 2 or 3 weeks, instead of going up on stage, he lays the suitcase down. The audience wants him to get the dummies out and let's go. But instead, he's doing 5 or 6 minutes of horrible stand-up.
Ah,
Just horrible. You know, I was on vacation with my wife. We went down to Disney World. What?
I hate it. I hate when guitar dudes don't
you
use the
know,
guitar or the fucking
Right.
Get to your
They
shit.
know who you are. They know you from the
not
TV
here you
show.
for your regular
you're
shit.
The,
Get
you're
to
the
your
one
props.
draw. You and Spade are the only 2 draws on the show,
Yes.
basically. And so we were trying to figure out. We're drinking at the end of the night with our 2 or 3 free beers. And we're like, why is he doing this? And Spade's like, look, I'll ask him. I'll figure it out. Wait till, you know. So a couple weeks go by. We're at Anderson's Fifth Estate, was a club in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And so the show's over and we're talking. So Spade goes over to him and goes, Dan, you know, we noticed, me and the boys here, what's the deal with the 5 or 6 minutes before you get Orson out? You know, they want to see Orson. He goes, well, you know, after all these years, I just got to thinking about it, and I just kind of wanted to be funny by myself for a
Boo!
And
Boo!
Spade, razor sharp, no hesitation, goes, it's a doll, Dan. You are by yourself. It's a fucking doll, Dan. There's no one up there but you. Get the fucking puppet out and fucking monkey dance. Let's go.
Oh my God! Yeah, he felt like it was a different person on the stage.
He was totally sincere when
That's
he
great.
said,
Yes.
"I just wanted to be funny by myself for a
Like,
change."
nigga, you always by yourself. What's the voices going on in
The
your head?
razor just Spade with that Hollywood minute, David Spade. Razor, blah. It's a doll, Dan. Everybody just runs for the exit. Everybody's just screaming and laughing.
And how old were you when you moved to New York? Did you
Yeah,
go
about-
Arizona to New York?
Only 1 year, yes. And so I was there for 1 year, 85, and then I came here in 86, early 86. Spade knew a dude that he went to high school with, and they were going to Columbia. And
Right.
they got us fake IDs, and we illegally lived in their dorm on the Columbia
That's
campus.
amazing.
Nice.
They'd been in there for 4 years, and it was 4-bedroom, and the university never sent the 4th student. So they just had an empty room in there. They were wiffle balling and playing Nerf basketball. It was
that's
just a junk
unbelievable.
room. And so when I said I can get us some gigs in New York, because I worked with Rob Bartlett and he hooked us up, Spade goes, I got us. I go, but we'll spend every penny we make,
Yeah.
you know, to stay somewhere. And he goes, I got us a hookup, and we illegally stayed in the Columbia dorm for about 9 months till they
9 months?
till they graduated, and then we lost our gig. We lost our free
And that
play.
was 80.
That was 86.
Six, you said.
Yeah.
That's
So by the fall of
unbelievable.
86, Spade had gotten in the Police Academy movies and was going to L.A.
Right.
And I was entrenched here pretty good, making some money, and then
Right.
I found a place to live.
So
and,
who was your crew in New York?
oh God, you mean Colin and Sandler and
Yeah.
Chris?
Oh, there's
and,
all the strip,
Yeah,
yeah.
and all those guys.
That's when Catch was still
Rising
over, yeah,
Star.
Catch
It's all
was-
Catch
So
a
you knew
Rising Star.
Sandler and
Miss Catch.
Chris before the rest of us did.
Pardon?
You knew Sandler and Chris Rock before the rest
We,
of us did,
yeah,
meaning
we were
before
all
they
like,
had that mainstream
Yeah, we were all
fame.
like 23 years. I've
Yeah.
got a picture.
Well, not before me, but
I showed the picture. I put a picture on the Twitter or on the Twitter a couple of times. There's an old picture from Catch a Rising Star of me and
Nigga, I remember
me
old
and
pictures
Colin.
with Vic. Listen to me. I remember
I got
old
30
pictures
year
with
me,
you,
Colin,
Chrissy,
Chris, and Sandler.
fucking Spade. It's a. I got some old. I've seen some
Oh, we
old
got some
shit.
great ones from the Cellars. Me, you, Ray Romano.
Yeah.
Attell's like 25.
Back when when Colin had beef with Attell because he said it was still in his act.
Is that a real story?
It's a real story.
Nothing remotely close to the same
I've
act.
been
I would never
around
imagine
this
that.
comedy for a long time, way before I was in it. Because of yeah, I remember when Colin used to hate Attell.
I remember when
he said he was stealing his voice.
Attell and
Stealing his
Sarah were
voice.
dating.
In the 90s, that's true. But everybody in comedy borrows from other niggas
Of
so
course.
you find your voice.
Right.
Attell was no different. And his shit was kind of close to Collins in the 90s.
When did they get over it, or are they still beefing?
They're not beefing now because Attell went his own direction with it.
Yeah.
Right,
But
totally.
everybody goes and I'm gonna do a little of this and do a little before you get your own voice, and that's just a part of comedy.
And
Quit-
where
Yeah.
did you start?
Started in New York in '98.
You did.
Yeah,
98.
That's
20
when I met
years
him.
ago.
That's when I met him.
yeah.
'Cause
But
we-
I've known you
'cause
before
William
that.
Stevens- 'cause William
I knew you
Stevens-
before
that's
I
true,
started.
That's
though.
true, right.
98. 20 years already.
20 years already. Time flies.
Who'd you come up with? Probably
Tony. Me and Tony. We
Tony
started
Rock.
together, and then a whole bunch of. Rachel was my roommate. Rachel Feinstein was
Right.
my
Yep.
roommate for 9
Wait,
years.
she started the same time as you?
Yeah, they all came. They were living
Yeah,
together.
we were living together. Me and Rachel moved in together in '99.
Little action or what?
No. She's like a sister to me.
She
But I
tells
banged
some
all her
funny
friends.
stories.
I fucked all her friends.
She's got some great stories. Well, that was me when I was living with the flight attendants. They're like,
Yes.
"Did you sleep with all the flight attendants?" I'm like, "No, all their friends and relatives."
All they friends. Rachel was the best wingman I ever had in my life.
She's told me stories. She's told me more
Yeah,
stories.
I love that story with
we wrote
you.
a treatment about it too. We got a TV show we're working on. I
What
think
year
Amy
was it
might
when
produce
you were living with the flight attendants?
80, all of 86. When the guys
Oh,
graduated.
after Columbia, you went
so
with.
Columbia. I moved in with the 5 flight attendants for about a year and a half.
That's a hell of a start to New
And
York.
so yeah, I had the illegal
Free room and
illegal
board in
dorm and
Columbia, and then
then
flight
5 flight
attendants.
attendants, right?
That's
And
some 80s fucking
No
awesome
kidding.
shit.
It was wonderful.
And how
What
did that go
flight?
down? You didn't sleep with any of the flight attendants?
No, but all their friends and relatives.
What airline was it?
American.
Pan Am?
American.
Can we pretend like it was Pan Am?
But no, I was single. I'm 25. I don't know any better, but I'm not. You don't shit where you eat. That's
Yeah,
always.
that's why
it's a
you don't.
good
That's
rule.
why a rookie thinks to fuck the
That's a
girl.
tough,
you live with.
that's a tough
Tough to
rule.
stick with.
That's
Yes,
a tough
I
rule
agree
to
with
follow,
you. I agree
man.
with you.
The
No.
worst thing you can do is have sex with the women you live with. If you live with them, just keep it at that.
But you were
You'll
smart
get
at-
more laid not banging them.
I was gonna say he was smart enough to know that they would be bringing more around,
Right.
I would
just
throw
because of
them-
the situation.
I'd go and catch Rising Star and like everybody. I did okay, and once I got past, I was okay. I wasn't that funny, I don't think, but I was working. So the rest of them were nice enough to you because we're all working.
And
the
if they
same
see
place.
you perform, they come in. It's like you're equal with them.
You know,
you're not
but I'm bringing in these women. I'm bringing in these women right and left, and the ones who will be having layovers. And so, like
Yeah.
Seinfeld and Dennis Miller, who was doing Weekend Update at the time, they were
Right.
the last 2 holdouts. They were like, "This hillbilly shit ain't funny. He's an idiot. He's a kid. This is awful. It's stupid." But the whore dogs in both of them, because they were both single whore dog running
And they
men.
both
Wait, Seinfeld is.
Oh,
was that-
absolutely. He was
You
single.
a nigga?
He was single till he married Shoshana.
He
till the
ran
18-year-old.
through shit.
Oh,
He
right
ran
and
through
left.
shit.
Right and left.
I know everybody's stuff.
Yeah. Mario Joyner was
Mario.
yes,
Because
we're-
Mario was touching everything.
Right.
If it was blonde and hot,
Yes.
them niggas was touching.
We have the same Mario and I have the same birthday. We're the same age, same day.
Mario's just like a brother to me, man.
And we were running. We
Him
were
and Jerry.
running it. We were
Really?
running it crazy good.
I'm telling you, that's why me and Tone got into comedy, because we saw the girls that these motherfuckers was coming around with.
Right.
Chrissy would come home with the hottest, and we'd be like, this nigga's so skinny.
You know what?
Buck teeth. Jerry curl. And
Jerry
bringing
curl,
home
right,
Lisa
right.
Bonet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in this.
Wait,
In the picture, he's wearing. In the picture I got with me and him and Sandler, he's Jerry curled.
Yes.
And he's wearing a double-breasted sweater.
Niggas. And he would bring home
Cardigan.
the hottest bitches at night.
I'm gonna go back to Vic, but I gotta know, like, so what's the connection with Chris Rock? You guys all live together?
Well, I was over their house, yeah, pretty much.
But where
But
you
we lived on
lived
the
was
same block.
close.
We lived on the same block.
Oh, same block.
But me and Tone and
Hey,
Brian,
what, you're bored?
he had to go to
Nice
the
guy.
beer.
All right, let's get another beer. All right. Yeah, give me one of the cheap ones.
I want one
I
of
want to go
these again.
cheap. Yeah, you want another bourbon?
Larceny.
But yeah, we lived on the same block, and well, me and Tone, Chrissy, Brian, we always in the same, like, Chrissy used to come into, because our, like, their bedroom's on the top floor of the brownstone. So we used to be in the front room. Chrissy had the back room.
Yeah. No, just move into the mic. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't
And
wanna
Chrissy
lose
was in the
you.
back room.
Yeah.
And that nigga would come in our room at like 3, 4 in the morning, crying. Like, y'all gotta come listen to this. It's like Bobcat Goldthwait. And it's just the funniest shit. Oh, what's his name who died? The preacher. Shit, who flew through the windshield.
Guido
Oh, and-
Sarducci?
God damn it, I'm just blacking
That
out on
bombed.
his name.
I don't know.
He used to be a preacher before he was a comic.
Oh, Kinnison.
Kennison.
Sorry.
I just was blacking out. I was blacking
Through the
out.
windshield in Vegas.
He would come in
Yeah.
4 in the morning.
I was thinking airline disaster.
Crying.
Right.
Wake us up to listen to Kennison, nigga.
Ah,
He
so
would
good.
wake us
So
up
good.
and say, because me, I slept at their house just as much as I slept at my house.
Kinnison's early stuff was
But he would be crazy. And that was the funniest shit we ever heard in our life.
Yeah, yeah.
Kinnison was the funniest dude. Chrissy, I'm telling you, that motherfucker
man.
studied Kinnison.
Chrissy did?
No question.
No kidding.
Makes
We
sense.
all did. We all did.
No, it makes sense.
He passed it down to us.
Yeah.
Right.
But he a few years ago, we were standing out in front of the strip one night, and he was getting ready for his latest special, and that's all he was doing. He was rewatching old Kinnison.
Yep.
Foxworthy,
Yep.
Pryor. He was
We
rewatching
do that in
a
his
whole
basement
bunch
every
of,
time he's got a special coming. We do that shit. We go through
yeah.
all of it.
Just to get the vibe, just to get
the
that.
You get the good vibe, the originality,
Right,
the
right.
rhythm, the whole thing.
Motherfucker
you know.
is a blue collar.
Right,
like,
I've known you a long time. These are
construction.
cool stories, man.
Yeah, but-
to know Chris Rock was really into Kinnison.
deeply
shit.
into him.
He was
got
in the
us into
comedy.
it.
He was in the comedy.
He's a big comedy fan. That's he
Right,
got us
right.
into it. He's a
Comedy
study. He's a
junkie.
student of this
Yeah.
shit.
Absolutely.
Kinnison changed my life because I was like in Rochester trying to be a radio guy with the radio voice and just
Yeah.
intro records. And two influences. Brother Weeze, I was lucky to work under him and do whatever he needed because I knew he was special. And then he had a friendship with Sam Kinison. And
That's
Sam
crazy.
Kinison came into Rochester and hung out for the whole week doing radio.
Yeah.
That day I went, oh my God, I'm doing all of this wrong. What am I doing? I'm not saying that
I agree. That's how,
no, he made me
He
go,
had it.
what? Throw everything you know away and just try to be yourself and just try to be edgy and you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so a light went off in my head like bing, and that
He
was the
had it.
start. That was the start for me.
I think Kinnison's key though was his preacher roots.
Certainly.
With the
why he
cadence.
was
From the performance,
yeah,
absolutely.
The performance. That's what
Yeah.
we all took
Sure.
from that
Right,
shit.
right.
Comics don't want to talk about, like he changed the whole comedy.
Do you know about
he changed all that.
You know
Well,
about
can
the
I-
crucifixion story where they the comedy workshop in Houston where he started?
Yeah.
And across the street was a 7-Eleven, and he was in a beef with them about some money or something. He'd gotten somebody mad, and so they banned him, and he went to Home Depot and bought two big railroad tie giant, almost like telephone pole logs, and made a cross. And then his friends tied him to it, and they leaned him up. They leaned him up against the 7-Eleven sign across the street from the comedy workshop. So people are lined up and going in the club, and he's up there going, "They did this to me!" He's up there.
He's another
screaming
boy.
and yelling.
That's
So
awesome.
he's got there just in a sheet. And he just wrapped his fat ass in a sheet. He's sitting up there tied to the fucking
He was
telephone
nuts.
pole.
That's hilarious.
Don't go in there. They don't know what's funny.
Now, Bill Hicks was part of that crew in
Yes,
Houston as
he
well.
came after. He
So
came
what was the
after.
connection between the? Oh, they were never in Houston together.
I mean, only maybe Kinnison, maybe just a year or two ahead, just a
Right.
year or two. But they're all out of the comedy workshop. It was a little hole in the wall,
Right.
And they were the Outlaw Comics, and there's 17 of them, and they were
Jimmy
all,
Schubert was part of that too back then.
yeah,
I wonder how
Probably.
much footage they have of that shit.
You know,
Can you
there's some of
imagine?
it around. Riley
gotta find
Barber, Epstein.
Yeah.
Jimmy Pineapple.
Yeah.
Jimmy Pineapple did a Rat Pack act when nobody was fucking doing that. You know,
Right.
he's in the white tux. Cody came out with a cigarette. Fucking walking around.
Oh my God, that's too
But
good.
none of it was regular stand-up.
Sure.
It was
Right.
all completely crazy.
Just
Ron
completely-
Schock told stories 30 years ago. He passed away a couple years back. But when nobody was telling stories, his whole act was just stories.
Right.
Right.
You
So
know.
I
People
didn't
don't know what
forget-
the origins of these things are. It's
Yeah.
like
the Outlaw
so-
Comics of Houston is a
it's so
fucking
cool to
legendary
hear.
thing.
So I didn't forget Seinfeld and Dennis Miller were both
Sure,
dogs.
right.
All right, get back to that.
Oh,
I want to hear a little of that.
Let's go
get it in.
I finally won them over with the girls, even though my act was so horrible.
They
and
didn't
sti-
like you,
and
but
still
they
is.
liked that
They
you
liked
were
the
But I was
girls.
going right. I got 19 women a night.
Because you were charming and
All
not a
di-
robot around women.
All different shapes and sizes.
So they were jealous
Coming in.
of what you were pulling.
So then they finally, begrudgingly, Miller walks over because he had his eye on one of them. He walks over one night and he said a word to me for 2-3 months. And so him and Jerry were the last two holdouts, and he kind of finally walks over and was like so. Yeah, I was on, I think.
That's his line.
I believe it was von Leeuwenhoek who observed in the 17th century. So he's.
I'm gonna walk home doing that
When I was-
myself.
Well, but years later, when I was on VH1 as a VJ, I ran into him in the park one day, and it was just me walking in the parking lot, and I look up, and here comes Miller, and he walks up, he goes, "Henley, Good to see you. I see you've become the new Martha Quinn. So he finally comes over to me before that with the girl, and he's like, "What's the deal? You know?" And I'm like, "They're flight attendants. They're my roommates." And he's like, "They're your roommates?"
Yeah.
He goes, "What's the deal with that one over there?" And I'm like, "You know, I don't know, but I'm guessing right now before I even ask her, I bet she's a huge Weekend Update fan." And he goes, "Go find out."
And that was it.
That was it. I go strolling over, and I'm like, "Blah."
It worked out.
She looks over at me, she goes, "Oh, God, he's cute. I've always liked him. He's really funny." Next thing you know, I'm in, and then he just goes and tells Seinfeld. He's like, "Whether he's funny or not, there's something going on here."
That's kind of similar to me in Rochester with Brother Weeze. Like, Brother Weeze, I was nobody. I wasn't doing anything special. I met Sam Kinison, which to me was like, holy crap, throw everything away, do something different, be
Start from
yourself,
scratch.
and don't worry about what people are going to say about you.
Yep.
But I still sucked. I mean, I don't want to oversell.
But you still gotta get there.
Yeah,
you still
of
gotta
course.
get there and
But
find
you
the
get
rhythm
your
of it.
influences,
Yeah,
and you have these moments in your career as you're coming up, and it hopefully turns into something. But with Weeze, I was a young kid from a fraternity, had a sorority that was close to us, so we were always throwing these banging fucking parties in
Right.
Rochester. Weeze was in a miserable
That's
marriage.
when you live with
Buzzy and
Buzz.
Buzzy!
Yeah, I miss Buzzy, man.
and Stork and the rest of them. He ran into my college friends, and that's gonna be a podcast.
Well, I'm telling you, they got.
I'm telling the stories with you. You love that. So with Weeze, I was just I was a nobody at this radio station. He's already a massive star, but
Right.
he knew I was pulling women and having these parties.
Right.
So I started inviting him over, knowing if he has a good time at my house at these parties, he's gonna help me out a little more in radio. So
Right.
it worked out perfectly. It got
That's
him away
how you
from his
do.
miserable marriage at the time. So
Ah.
that's sort of how we started.
You got some
and
young
bonded.
blowjobs.
Why not? Fine.
He got some college
I
mouth.
was doing. I didn't care at all.
And then,
I was just happy to.
and then it helped me because in the Rochester world, he's a rock star, and all of a sudden he's walking into my fucking house.
Right.
with
They
these
like, how the
parties.
fuck you know him?
Now I got women going, you know him? Oh,
Right.
You know how all that works.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It pals on, baby.
Right on.
Shit.
The suits are here, by the way. That's Tim Sabian from Westwood One, and Robert.
Oh, are they?
They haven't laughed once. Tim, want to say hi real
You don't want to
fast?
interrupt the show, I guess.
Yeah, what's up?
Have you enjoyed the velvet rope? The velvet rope.
Tim look like money. Sit down, Tim. You look like you got some dollars.
It
nigga.
smells like money,
You
too.
look like
right?
you got a couple dollars, Tim.
Listen, if I had your money, I'd burn mine. No kidding.
Hey ho!
I don't believe in that.
We'll be here all week.
Yeah, exactly. But so, how great is this podcasting? The fact is, you don't have to sit in a stale old studio every single
Yeah.
day. You get out and about. You look like you're having fun for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's just.
His office was in the hallway. You knew that?
What's that?
His office was
By
in the
the end, he
hallway.
had
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
corner.
Oh yeah.
Near the end, that's
well, he was,
SiriusXM.
well, he was a big star at SiriusXM.
Oh, was
yeah,
I?
yeah, exactly.
Literally.
That's how they treated their people.
We would have meetings in the hallway, and then I would get really mad if someone walked down the hallway. I'm
Trying
like,
to go
you're
to the
walking
bathroom."
through my office.
Yeah, farm animals were treated better.
Yeah, but this is much better, making me haul around podcast equipment and set it up at a beer joint. Yeah, life is great, Tim.
Things are fine.
Where are you from, Tim? You from New York?
I'm originally from Minneapolis.
Minneapolis?
Yeah.
What are you, Prince?
Exactly. Prince. I grew up with Prince. Yeah, exactly.
Edina?
I went to his funeral.
Edina?
Did
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
You
yeah.
went
Are
to
you from
Prince's
Edina?
funeral?
Yeah.
Are you from Edina?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You
East
look
side
like
St. Paul,
You look
that
like a
kind
cake eater.
Yeah,
You look like a cake eater. You got an Edina joke. Is that not a joke?
Yeah.
Bang.
Bravo.
It's a
There we go.
Minneapolis
There we
joke.
go.
I don't get it, though.
I've been everywhere twice.
I know you're not supposed to explain a joke, but
No, you're
I
not.
don't get
It's
it.
just- It's a local.
I
I'm
like
going
it.
local.
Someone
Yeah.
out there is laughing.
I'm going local.
Me and Tim met when he was programming YSP in Philly.
Okay, nice.
That's
He was
still a
still
good
on-
channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was. Now it's not.
I was gonna say, is it
sports
gone?
now. It's sports
It's
now.
gone?
Yeah.
Terrestrial radio is gone.
Yeah, they totally ruined it. All these so-called executives have no idea
See?
what to do.
Yeah, I've been saying that for
dude.
years through emails.
But this is what's great about this, though. You can do this on your own. You don't need the big tall antenna and tower and all
Right.
the bullshit and the infrastructure, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a whole.
what about the money, though?
The money's good. Believe me, the money will be fine. The money will be fine.
It's terrific right
Dead
now.
presidents on green paper. It'll be there.
there you go.
It'll be there.
My favorite kind of president.
Exactly.
Live ones ain't got no credit.
I ain't got
No,
nothing
no,
for me.
yeah.
Trump dollars ain't gonna get you.
That includes the black
That's the
one.
same thing as a degree from Trump University and a case of Trump wine. Trump dollars, nothing. Bitcoin is more stable.
You're sweating pretty good,
It's
Tim.
the future. That's how kids are operating now.
Listen, that's why I have no future.
I'll tell you something about Tim. He sells the marijuana.
What?
What do you mean?
Are you
I
allowed
need
to talk about
marijuana.
that?
Huh?
You know I need some. First of all, Opie is like a narc.
No, yeah.
And if you hold it, you better let me in on it.
Because we both like pot.
Well, I guess I got to explain. No,
no,
you don't want to talk about it?
Well,
No.
no, you did, but
You gotta
Opie's
how
like a
I
high
am.
school guidance counselor.
yeah.
He's got a little.
I have a cannabis
investment.
investment. Yeah.
Is it safe to say it's,
Yeah.
it's your
I
I know
side?
a lot of people
lucrative
too.
investment. Yeah,
Even the governor
yeah.
of New Mexico, who I met on Fox News, he's involved now.
Gary?
Gary,
Let me tell you, it's the gold rush of 2018. It
I
really
want
is.
in, Tim.
It's all about
Too
it's.
I want white in.
Why? Yeah.
Black people been selling weed and getting arrested. White people come in and making a fortune.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now, will this high-end weed train will revert back to like the beers?
Well,
like how the beers are going back to PBR. And
Well, as long as
Schlitz,
Jeff
Old
Sessions
Milwaukee.
is cool.
Are we
It's
going
all
back-
about Jeff
Are we
Sessions.
going back to just? I want more seeds and stems.
No,
Well, you take the seeds and the stems and you make oil out of it.
Flip it all back.
We're flipping all back.
I got to explain. Where's your joint? It's all up on the up
No
and
pun
up.
intended.
They have a little dispensary in Pennsylvania
No, I did
and a grow up
Kentucky.
in.
He's got
I believe
I got to grow up
Listen,
in.
I did a whole
Warehouse,
episode of my
Michigan.
A&E show on the cannabis convention here at Jacob Javits Center.
Yeah.
And I met an ex-senator from Brooklyn, congressman from Brooklyn, who's deeply involved in it now.
Yeah.
All these politicians are involved
Oh,
in marijuana
absolutely.
now.
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
of them.
Yeah.
They got these big
And it's cash.
$180,000 machines that turn it into candy.
Yeah, and
That pumps it into the candy.
Exactly right. Well,
I
here's,
videoed
here's,
all of it.
here's the crazy thing: we have to physically go to Michigan and pick up the cash and bring it to a credit union. We can't put it in the bank.
All right.
So you're walking away with a duffel bag filled of cash.
Now, what days y'all do that on so I can tell my crew from
Well, listen,
Brooklyn?
exactly.
That was
ride along?
smart, Tim.
You want to ride along?
That was
Yeah, with a
smart.
ride along, all
I've
right.
done this crime. I've
Yeah, it's
done this
all
crime.
cash. It's so
I
much
have done this
cash.
And you
crime.
can't get on a
Ain't got no
plane.
weight
You have
with
to
it.
you have to drive. You have to fly in, go to Avis, get a rental car, drive back to.
What route y'all take?
I-80.
What Waffle House you stop at?
Well,
I'm
when it
choking
started,
somebody.
when it started in Colorado, that was the big deal where they had to get major security to get these guys cash to
There's
the
big
credit
money in it
unions.
now, just
Yeah.
transferring this fucking cash.
I wired money from PNC Bank, thank you very much, and I get a call from the president of the bank. Is this cannabis? I'm like, excuse me?
Did he really scream?
Oh yeah, he was
The
mad.
president
No.
of the bank?
Crazy, off the chart, off the hook, crazy. Because it's all the regulations and everything with cannabis. They can't touch anything that has to do with.
Only
weed.
some states.
Wow.
No. All states.
Because it's
with
coming
the
out of
federal-
San Francisco,
the
I believe he
feds-
would know.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
would
Okay,
know.
but it's dirty.
But listen, maybe
Some
in
people
your
sneaking
bank,
it
I
out.
don't know where you bank.
Sneaking
but
it
they-
out.
Right. Are
They
you doing a
sneaking it
mattress?
out.
Are you doing a mattress?
You know they sneaking it out.
I want to know. Are you doing a
Know
mattress?
what's happening,
I
Tim.
want to know.
So why are we podcasting? Screw this.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go freaking smoke it
Well, I'd
and
say,
sell
yeah.
pot.
That's
don't
what I
smoke
said.
it,
I
though.
can-
That I have no.
I got to tell Sherrod I went to Jamaica with the pot
It's
down
too
there.
strong. It's too.
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Break it up. I make spliffs, though. I roll
Yeah,
spliffs.
no,
I'll eat it to sleep because I can't. I have a hard time.
Good.
I'll tell you.
We
Sleep
talk about
like a
weed or
baby.
pussy?
That's it. Exactly.
I eat pussy.
Hey,
That's how I take a nap.
And her too.
Where were you on that one, you son of a bitch?
what about Khalid doesn't eat his wife's pussy?
Oh, the DJ Khalid?
Yeah,
He's a fool.
he got hammered on Twitter.
Because it sounds stupid.
It sounds really stupid.
It's like you sound like an idiot. You
Right.
sound like me as a
What are you doing
12-year-old. He
missing
said
out?
DJ
it's
Khalid.
it's an old interview.
He
that
said
just
he don't
popped
eat his
up.
wife's pussy because he's a king.
Because he's a king.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
Who knows?
That's what Twitter said. What
It's
are you
like whatever you're not
talking
doing to
about?
your wife,
Makes
somebody
sense.
else is going to do to your wife,
Right.
stupid.
Oh,
You
they-
should eat it more, and that makes you the king.
Yes.
You need another one. Let's do a drinking game.
Here. Have some of that.
have it.
Drinking
Yeah.
bourbon. We're at Gebhardt's on the Upper West Side. This is a great joint. I'm going to do a lot of
I'll share this
podcasts from
with
this
you.
place.
love
on
this. It's
72nd between West End and Broadway.
I need some video in here, Ope.
Yeah, exactly.
Tim?
Well, we're gonna get
Tim?
there. We're gonna get there.
Stop worrying about the weed, Tim, and get some videos in here.
Listen, I'm all fucked
starting
up on
slow.
weed. I can't think
Get
about
off the
anything.
gummies,
I'm
Tim.
too busy.
We're working on a whole video
Yeah.
deal, hopefully.
Yeah,
But
yeah, bring it down a little bit.
I don't believe in words.
I don't need you to build me a studio anymore. I want to do it here.
Yeah. Well,
This is this is officially our
People
joint.
should be able to call
Great.
in.
but this is all. Yeah,
We just need a
we'll
phone
have.
system.
Just start bringing some product around with you.
Exactly. Well, I will.
What do I need to
You
promote?
felt
I
the
guess.
pocket. I think that might be the pocket with a product in it. You got an edible or something in there.
Let me reset. I got Tim Sabian from Westwood One. I got Sherrod Small, one of my good pals from the last version of the radio show, which I loved doing before Sirius lost their minds. Vic Henley is here. I got my neighborhood pal Ben. Our kids play together. What else? We're at Gephardt's. They're taking care of us. And if you like the podcast, I guess if you're listening and haven't subscribed yet, because that's possible, subscribe
Robert,
now.
Tell them all the details on how to subscribe.
Go to Apple Podcasts. You go to Google Play. You go to the WestwoodOnePodcast.com. You do the app.
I'm hijacking.
And as of today,
Yeah.
there is an Alexa and a Google Home skill for OpieRadio.
How about that? So what do we? So Robert, demonstrate. What do? You say Alexa.
You say, Alexa, enable the OpieRadio skill. Or if you have a Google Home, you say, okay, Google, play OpieRadio. And it should work.
Everybody's Alexa just popped down right now.
Oh.
See?
Just from hearing it.
That's exactly right.
Alexa, prostitutes. That should work out well.
Hey now.
The Westwood One Podcast Network, the Tom Bernard Podcast.
Saturday Night Live trotted out Stormy Daniels as part of a star-studded cold opening. This woman is a stripper and a hooker, and now all of a sudden she's a star? Again, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form, but will you calm down?
The Tom Bernard Podcast. Download and subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Westwood One Podcast app. Free from the Westwood One Podcast Network. Opie Radio.
How long have you been doing comedy?
33 years.
So you just started. You're new to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah.
Tim is
How many marriages
babbling.
have
I'm
you
going
been
to
through?
take it from here. We are podcasting from Gephardt's on the Upper West Side, 72nd Street between West End and Broadway.
Yeah, sons of bitches.
I'm late.
Vic doesn't like the
I'm
No,
late.
Vic has been married twice and no kids.
Right.
I asked him. I said, "Did you have a vasectomy?"
No,
I married two women that didn't want to have kids. It's really easy.
That is odd.
That is
If you
odd.
marry
How-
the right-
That's
if you marry-
great.
If
What are you
that's
talking about?
discussed,
Rhythm method? What'd you practice?
No, bust
rhythm
all
method.
in.
Marry the woman that doesn't want to have kids, and then you don't have kids.
Exactly.
Really? Oh, bullshit.
No.
Really?
You never
No, they
wanted to
switch
have
up?
kids, Vic
No,
Henley?
never.
Why wouldn't you?
Wait, Tim had a story right here.
Oh,
Somebody,
no.
Sorry, go
I
ahead,
had a
Tim.
bad experience, not a story.
Tim had some woman say, I want what you want. They always say they want what you want until they get in and they're like this, I want different stuff.
Yeah. Fuck.
Why didn't you ever want to have kids, Vic Henley?
Because the Henley line needs to stop with me. It needs to be
No.
over. No more Henley.
Why do you say that?
Because it's just you don't know my family.
Why didn't you want a 5-year-old with gray hair?
I don't want anything related. Right. I don't need a baby Jay Leno. Thank you. It's been an hour. You finally came up with something.
Yeah, you should leave on that, Tim.
Sherrod's right.
Do the George Costanza. Just walk out.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Tip the wait.
End on a high note.
Right. Don't let the sea air rust your hips.
But you're good with Nikki's kids.
Oh, I love Nikki's kids. They're
So
amazing.
you do like kids.
I love children. I just didn't want any of my own.
Yes.
The Henley family needed to end with me. And
That's such the youngest sibling thing to say.
I am.
You're the youngest, just like me. And I go like this, why should it be born after
There
me?
shouldn't be anybody.
But I already spilled into somebody's vagina.
My niece is, well, you got a good one.
I got a good
You
one.
got lucky.
I got
You
blessed.
got lucky.
Lucky's for the
You
wicked.
did get lucky.
I got blessed.
For the wicked. Lucky's for the wicked.
I'm telling you,
That's right. You
Lucky's
going
for the
to
wicked.
old Church of Christ Baptist, Pentecostal.
It's for the wicked.
We got to pull a story out of Vic.
About
What?
what?
How he wants the family name to end with him.
Why do you want to...
Yeah,
could
give
just
me
go-
give me a little
I've
something.
seen
on
his
that.
brothers, though. I
Henleys
met his
ain't good.
brothers. Tell him about all his friendships with all the Atlanta Braves that I met.
Oh God! Well, that's Terry.
Terry.
Tim Hudson.
They came to at least a dozen of my shows.
Really?
Tim
The
Hudson
Henley
from Atlanta,
brothers.
from the Atlanta
Oh,
Braves.
the Atlanta Braves.
All
Okay.
the Braves, and they all know Terry from hunting with him.
Hunting with him. Tell him about the moose head in the toilet.
So he calls.
What?
Yes. So he
You have no
calls me.
idea.
So he calls me.
These
he
my
goes-
white kind of white people.
He goes, I got Tim Hudson, Craig Kimbrell, who's now closing
Yes.
for the Red Sox,
Yep.
a whole bunch of them down at the cellar
We
watching
drank.
him. And he goes, they asked him something about, he said something about me, and Tim Hudson went to Auburn, so something about Terry came up. So he sends me a text, and I go, ask him about the deer head in the toilet.
And they lost. It's like, how the fuck do you know that? Henley's, nigga.
So they were all deer hunting somewhere down in Boogerville, Alabama, a million years ago. And they're in some cabin. It's a cabin. It's really not nice. It's a cabin.
Right.
And so most of the people are peeing in the yard and walking around and whatever. It's just sleeping bag kind of cot situation. So my brother killed this huge deer that had this giant rack. So when they all went to bed, he cut the deer's head off and put it in the toilet. So when he knew someone in the middle of the night would go walking in there and flip the toilet lid up, and there'd just be a fucking deer in there. And it was Tim Hudson.
Really?
Yes.
And Terry was hiding outside the window with his phone. He sat outside for 3 hours waiting on the first idiot that was going to walk in there and get scared by the dead deer head in the toilet.
Wow.
And it was only a little inside Alabama hunting story from, amongst 9 people until he goes, hey, what do you know about this? I go, ask him about this.
And they was like, how the fuck did you know this?
And they just lost it?
Yes.
That's
like, how do you know
story.
Terry? How does this work?
I'm like, he is everywhere. True.
You had a rough upbringing, that's why.
Well, you're back to the Henleys at the
I'm
end.
so
They have
curious
the end.
because you've
that's
told
it.
me some of these stories over the years.
Yeah,
My cousin Doug.
I know what I gotta do.
Don Henley is my dad's younger brother.
Right.
And
the Don Henley?
No.
I know, just.
And but he's got a son, and so Doug Henley. I have stopped it. Doug Henley, my cousin, would be the only one that so he may have already procreated. I don't know.
You don't know?
So
I don't know. I haven't talked to Don Henley and none of them. They don't talk to me anymore.
Really? What'd you do?
Why?
I told him to not fucking talk to me anymore.
You see how
Something happened. Something happened in his White Southern family.
You see how he shaped his mouth to say that? That was some redneck scary shit right
Those
there.
are white people problems.
Something happened.
It's just that
Somebody grandmama died and they took the house.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Look, we all have family problems.
Sure.
So what was the issue?
They all would try to tell me that I could reconcile and should with all the ugly, bad stuff.
Right.
And come to the family reunions and be a Henley. And I'm like, I don't want to be a Henley. I'm technically a Henley, but I kind of like hanging with my mom's side of the family.
Right.
And they didn't like me either, so it sort of drifted down to.
Wait, so
Why didn't they like you?
Oh, because I looked like my dad and they hated him. So my grandmother, this was no kidding. At Christmas, my 2 brothers would get something really nice, like a new sweater or like a $30, $40 gift.
Yeah.
And I got the first year I got a bag of oranges.
No, you did not. No, you did not get a Mexican
Yes, I
Christmas.
did. I got
Costco?
Were they at least peeled?
Food Town. No. Food Town.
seedless, hopefully?
Anderson,
Some
Alabama.
Naples?
No, this is way before the
right.
They gave you a bag of oranges, so it was a bag of rocks.
She gave me a bag of oranges, and then the next year they all got something good, and I got a coloring book for like $2. And they all got something, but and then like every year it was just.
They liked his father better than your father.
And then my cousin Robin, for some reason or other, my old mean grandmother didn't like her either. So we often laughed down through the years about
how much y'all was out
Well,
there.
Hey,
Yeah.
Robert, could you go next door and get some nail polish for him? I want to give him a great Christmas gift.
Tim.
So I got the bag of oranges, and then my cousin Robin got those candy oranges that they dip in the sugar,
Sure,
those jelly. kind of thing.
Right.
She's like, you got the bag of oranges. I got the shitty candy bag.
But what pisses me off is obviously some shit went down in the Henley clan.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, I know the story.
goes down in
It's whatever.
families.
It's whatever
Sure.
you want to share.
Right.
But my point here today is, then they got mad at you because you didn't want to
wouldn't wanna
reconcile
get
with
back
the
in.
horrible stuff
Right.
that went on.
Right.
Plus,
Maybe
Vic was
something-
like, "Fuck y'all not accepting my father because you can see him in my face."
And then my
Fuck
mom, my mom, I yelled at them all and hung up on them, and they still called back. And so I had to go to my mom, because my mom was standing right there and heard me yell at them. I'm like, leave me alone. Don't call me again. I'm done. I ain't coming to this. I ain't going to that. All's fine.
Right.
And then so boom. And then my mom's sitting there and she's like, well, I'm really proud of you. She knew that's what I wanted to say.
Right.
But I was like nervous to say it.
Yeah.
And so
What happened?
Somebody over there just yapping.
Is she on the podcast?
She is now.
I think it's German. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Wie let die Hunde out?
Recording a show.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Tim.
Where are you from?
Amsterdam.
There you
I've
go.
been there. I've been to Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Den
There you
Haag,
go.
Groningen, Tilburg, Harlem with 2 A's. Your whole country.
Sherrod,
Lucky Strike Tour.
get him on mic.
You know Jurgen Raymond? His TV show used to be in the back in the day. Jurgen Raymond.
Yeah, Jurgen Raymond.
Yes, he's a good friend of mine.
Herman Brood.
I did a show 4 times.
I was in Amsterdam when Herman Brood killed himself.
Ah, lucky you.
Right, my room opened up right after he did that.
I was in Holland during 9/11. I got there 9/10 doing a tour.
I was there when Herman Brood killed himself.
Nice. Well, welcome to New York, Dutchies.
They're just waving
They're
at
waving at
people
the new
like
people. Their friends are coming in.
they didn't even know that this.
The Dutch are
this
the real
area
white.
was roped
No,
off.
they
They're
came
just
in.
I like that they're so white they make Opie look Puerto Rican.
All right,
They
that-
can give a fuck about this. I
that-
stayed on the Lysa plane. You know the Lysa
Light is
plane?
fine. Light is fine.
Yeah,
Light
right
is
up the
fine.
park. The park's
They've
right
had
there.
it with you already.
Comedy Cafe. You played that room.
I did Toomler. I did the cool one.
It's good comedy in that
It's
fucking country.
wonderful. I love the Dutch.
They love American comedy.
They do.
No question about it. And they all speak English.
That room in Toomler is 42 weeks a year. It's Dutch Comedy Club. It's
Yeah.
a Hilton where John and Yoko had the
Oh,
band.
sure, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
I
Toomler
know
is
that.
Yiddish for the storyteller, I think. Is the name of the place. But then 12 weeks a year, or 10, during the summer, they do it all in English. So they hire Americans and Brits and Irish guys and Australian guys. And you stay in the Hilton by the River Amstel.
Ah, so nice over
So
there.
nice.
Do they rent out that room where Yoko?
You can still get it, yes.
You can get it.
They don't tell you. His artwork is still all in there.
What do you mean they don't tell you?
If it's
It's just a surprise.
Yes. If someone just shows
See, in
up.
America, they would charge extra for it.
But
In America, they would charge
but
If
extra.
someone calls and asks for it specifically, they charge them and do the American thing.
But if
the
otherwise-
room just happens to be open and some, if Hans and Hans and Greta walk in,
Right.
Just give them the room.
then they give them the room and they just get a cool thing because the Hilton people are awesome and they just.
How many people do you think went in the room? John Lennon's artwork is on the walls. You said.
Yes, everything's in white. The bed's round.
and they don't even realize what they're seeing.
Well, you would hopefully.
Well, I mean, most
I'm
people.
with you.
The whole room's white?
Yeah, the whole.
Boy, will you lose your coke in that room. Where's the blow? It's in front of you, stupid.
Carpet everywhere. Yeah, you'd never find it. You never
You'll
find
never
it.
find it.
Drop the baggie, it's gone.
Weed, you know exactly where it is.
Right there. Every time.
Oh, they're just
Amsterdam, I'm telling you, the whole country
I
is
love
great.
it.
I was there with Greer Barnes during 9/11. 9/10, we got there. My mother called me and said, "Turn the TV on.
Oh my
We're under
God.
attack." And then everything went dead for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
For 2 weeks,
Wow.
I canceled the shows that night out of respect.
Sure.
And then I started doing the rest of these shits. Ain't gonna let the terrorists win. And they were all sold out. Me and Greer had the best orgy we ever had in our
I
life.
bet.
And the best grilled cheese during the orgy.
Tom.
You ain't lived till you had a grilled cheese orgy, nigga,
How
with a
about
bunch
the-
of Dutch bitches
how about the
who
Dutch
feel sorry
pancakes?
about your country getting attacked.
so they're working extra hard.
They
for you.
sucked everything.
Making
Can you explain the grilled cheese?
They just made
I
grilled
understand
cheeses.
the other part, but
While we were fucking two, the other two were making grilled cheeses and rotated. And it was, I don't even know to this day what cheese it was. It was the best grilled cheese.
Gouda.
Best grilled cheese I've ever had in my life. It might have been some Gouda in there.
I would
They had
have
like
to go
3
Gouda.
cheeses.
Yeah, I'm sure.
let's go Gouda.
These
Ask
bitch-
these people.
2 didn't speak English, Vic.
Yeah, ask him
That's
what
the
kind of
best part.
cheese.
2 never. We spent a week with these bitches.
Oh, I know.
Prince's funeral. There you go.
Look how purple this everything
All right.
is.
What is Tim doing?
Tim's showing Sherrod pictures of him at Prince's funeral.
Wait, let me
We
see.
talked
I
about
gotta
that
get-
an hour ago.
But still, that's how long it took Tim to pull up this picture.
Listen, I'm
Sherrod
old.
pulled up his picture in 9
Senility.
seconds, an eighth of a second. I started saying 9 seconds. It was even
God
quicker.
damn it, show me what's your Instagram?
he just ran to a Rite Aid and had
I
the
don't know.
pictures
I don't
printed
have
up.
it. What's,
He's handing them out.
It's just great.
Look at his hair. It's a
Oh
mess.
boy, is this great!
Yeah, Tim!
Yesterday, 2 days ago, going through the airport, I saw the rare black man bad toupee.
Oh. You know, I seen a bunch of them
No,
just
the
growing
good
up.
ones you don't
You
see.
see
The good
the
ones you
line,
don't see. The
the
bad
colors,
ones you see in a
The
second.
colors completely off.
Oh.
Yeah, it looked
I
like
remember when white people didn't know that Steve Harvey had a toupee.
Oh, forever. Had no
it looked
idea.
like a black fucking sponge on his
That's
head.
right. That's what this dude was the other day. That's what I thought. And no one knew. No one knew.
Because people don't usually look at black people and think it's a toupee.
Right.
No.
No, it's true.
I don't think black guys can get the plugs like white guys can. So it's more of
Right,
like
it's
a
a different
whole
thing.
like
Right.
helmet
Exactly.
or
Right.
shower cap
Ask
Right.
LeBron.
that has some afro
Yeah.
on it.
Well, LeBron probably got the best one. He had his shit filled
He's
in
got
here
all
first.
kinds. Yeah.
He went through a process.
I know. It's years.
They built a fucking hairline on
So
him.
it's,
Yeah, but I'm watching the playoffs. Now the plugs are falling out.
Because he's working so hard. It's hard to put up 38 points and 12 rebounds.
Triple double.
And keep your fucking form.
Right.
He looked good for about 2 years there, and now the
you can tell.
Now
No,
the
you can
plugs
see.
are falling out.
Yes. You can see all the rows of the garden.
I used to hate. I used to hate LeBron James, and now I respect
Why'd you hate
that.
him? He's
LeBron.
the best.
No, it's the old thing where how he said he was leaving Cleveland when he knew the whole city
taking
was
my
all about
talents.
him, and he's like, I'm taking my talents to Miami, and people were like, what the?
Listen, let's not pretend like we don't know what Cleveland's about. They needed a spanking
No, but
so he can leave and come back.
All I'm saying is he needed to do it in a more mature way. He
I get
didn't, but then he came back,
Wrote a
And
letter
won him a
saying that.
championship. I'm good. And
The
I'm not
first
even
one ever.
I'm not a Cavaliers fan, but I'm a fan of LeBron James because he's one of
Yeah.
the greatest of all
And
time.
people can say what they
easily.
want. You can't name another motherfucker on that team that he won it with. He won that fucking championship, except for Kyrie. He won that championship.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love.
Nigga, Kevin Love in that series was a non-factor.
No, you got to go Kyrie.
You remember Kevin Love in that series?
Yeah, Kevin Love falls apart. In
The
the
one they
playoffs
won,
a
though,
little
Kevin
bit.
Love blocked the shot, and then LeBron ran down and made the winner, I
Yes.
think.
And
Bro,
that was in
who's-
one game out of seven.
Who is better than LeBron James all time? Is there anyone?
Bill
that's-
Russell,
Bill Russell.
Will
you got,
Chamberlain.
No, I'm not talking like guys that won more championships.
O, the big O.
You think those guys are better
The big
basketball
O,
players?
the big
than-
O would probably be, or Magic.
Magic's
Magic
not a big
Magic
O.
better than LeBron James?
Yes.
The big O did everything.
Magic played all 5 positions in one final.
He as a rookie.
Yes.
He played the center and the
and
guard.
won the championship.
With an injured Kareem, who's a
Yes.
And learned the baby,
Baby
sky
Skyhook.
hook.
That's true.
Here's what a comparison is. If look, Shaq got injured the first year that the Lakers won with Kobe, and Kobe carried it out by himself and played center.
Sure.
I know.
Then.
And played
Then,
center.
right.
I saw that 30 for 30 with the Celtics and the Lakers.
Nobody beats
I'm up on
Magic.
that.
Magic is still.
You think Magic is the greatest basketball player of all time?
As far as like getting other people better,
Give
I
me
think
the list.
there's no one better.
Who's better than LeBron?
I
Give me
think
the
it's
short
5
list.
guys.
You think there's 5 guys
It's-
better than LeBron?
I'm
No, I
with
think it's
Barkley.
five-
I'm
no.
with Barkley on this
I think
one.
it's 5 top guys, and you can't distinguish who's the best.
Yeah, but I think LeBron
Kareem
started.
Abdul-Jabbar is one
Yep.
of them. Bill Russell's another one.
Yep.
The big O.
Yep.
Right.
Jordan.
Yep.
And then LeBron.
I go Wilt Chamberlain.
LeBron's getting.
And Wilt. Oh,
Go
you
Wilt
got
Chamberlain.
10.
I go 5.
I can really go 4 more.
LeBron's not in my top 5.
Wilt
I'm
is a
Barkley. I'm
different-
Barkley's top 5.
Listen,
I
Wilt
hate
changed
to all
the
burn
game.
up.
Look, I got to.
Nobody changed the rule because of
Certainly,
LeBron
right.
or Jordan. They changed the rules
Yeah.
because of Chamberlain.
I got to represent
The game.
I got to represent Whitey though, man.
Bird's.
Yes, Larry
Yes.
Bird.
No,
Hall of
Bird's in there.
Famer. Great player.
Larry
Bird's
Bird's
in
on that
Unbelievable.
list.
Great
Bird's in
player.
there,
Hall of
but you
Famer.
got a bunch of
Let's
niggas
go
in front
white
of him.
guys now. Top
Jerry-
five
even better.
white guys of
Jerry
the NBA.
West is as good as Larry
Jerry
Bird.
West. What, they got to change the logo. The
Stop.
short
Where-
shorts.
where does
Meadowlark Lemon fall into this?
Meadowlark Lemon.
No.
That's right.
Damn.
Curly
Goose
Neal.
Tatum.
Curly Neal.
Goose Tatum.
Nobody had a better
Marcus
handle.
Haynes.
It was Rod
Marcus
Strickland.
Haynes.
Nigga.
Absolutely. Don't
Rod
challenge me on the
Strickland
Globe
and
Bucket Trotters.
Curly Neal have the best handles I've ever saw live.
Give me the top 5 white NBA players of all time. Larry Bird, number 1.
George Mikan.
Chris Mullins in there.
George Mikan.
I put
Chris
Mullen.
Mullin.
He's a Brooklyn boy, so I gotta do that.
How about Bob Cousy?
Cousy, yes.
Cousy, of course.
George Mikan, though, first
Pistol
three-peat.
Pete?
First three-peat.
You ain't gonna
white
go
boy.
Pistol Pete?
Minneapolis Lakers.
I was gonna. I know.
Pistol
He was
Pete, the
talking
first one
out of
with
place for
swag.
me. I'm
Pistol
talking.
Pete. I
First
like-
white man with swag in the fucking NBA.
Oh, no. Jerry
What is going
West.
One of
Jerry
my-
West.
One of my
Cousy.
idols. Pistol
Pistol?
Pete's one of
Oh,
my
idol.
idols.
Cousy, West,
You
Bird.
marked your game on that.
Mikan.
Your game was similar to Pistol Pete's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Big
get
time.
that.
I
Yeah, I
shot
think we
the
talked
lights
about that
out of the
before.
ball.
Kiki Vanderway.
Kiki was great in 72. The Knicks, that's when we won a championship. Oh, you're trying to attack the Knicks?
Later.
We won in
It
72.
was after that.
It was after 72?
Kiki was way after.
No, Kiki was on the team
No,
in
he
70.
wasn't.
He
No,
wasn't?
No,
No,
that's late
Kiki's
70s.
like
Okay.
late
Okay.
70s,
You're
early
a decade
80s.
I thought he might have been a
You're a
rookie then.
decade off.
I haven't
You're a
thought
decade.
about that name in
Kiki
years.
wasn't.
That's what I
I'm going to
Oh,
Google
God.
this. I'm Googling this.
88.
You know what? I never discussed this before, but the white NBA player, that's a bad list.
No,
the
it
top
ain't.
5 best
No, you just
white
got to think about it
players
more,
in the
but
NBA.
it's some solid ones.
We can't think of anyone else.
We just thought a bunch of them.
Dave Cowens, John
What's my boy who had
Havlicek,
the handle? Who's
McHale.
got
Bill Bradley,
Steve Nash. John Stockton.
Stockton.
All right.
Come
Now,
on.
okay, now we're getting a list together.
Kurt Rambis.
Rambis.
I
On
loved
D.
him.
Won
I
some
did love him.
championships. Won some
I
championships.
loved
on
him.
D.
He took all the beatings the Lakers needed.
Absolutely.
He was a bruiser for them.
John Stockton. All right,
Stockton.
that helps our list a little bit.
Bill Lambert, you got to give him some credit.
On the Bad Boys.
The Bad Boys, they won 3.
That's true. They won 2 in a row.
2 in a row.
89, 90.
Yeah, they went 2 in a row.
And I always say this. The reason why Michael Jordan's the best player is because what Detroit did to him.
Yeah,
they beat the fuck out of him. That was his challenge.
Certainly.
And that made him a better player.
Right.
That made him the superstar he is. Before that, he was a player. Those motherfuckers put a wall up for him, and he couldn't get past it. He had to build the team to get past it.
They beat the talent into him.
I'm telling you, they did. They abused him.
No, what changed with Jordan was the fact that they got to him and said, you got to be a team player if you want to win championships. Remember his points per game dropped slightly? He was still way up there. I think he was still averaging 30 instead of 32, 33.
2 years in a row.
And then all of a sudden he listened and became more of a team player, and that's when they started winning the championship.
And you remember when they finally did beat Detroit, and then Isaiah and the whole team didn't shake their hands?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that totally.
It's like you beat the shit out of him for 2 years in a row.
And you wouldn't even give him the.
And now you wouldn't even shake his hand. It's like, that's when I lost respect for Isaiah.
I can't disagree with you more. I hate that sportsmanship bullshit. I love that the Pistons said.
Oh, you like bad sports?
Yes.
Come on.
You like bad
yes. We beat you 2 in a row. You finally got us. We ain't shaking your hands.
Really?
I love
come
it.
on,
You're that guy.
Because nowadays in the NBA, they're all buddies. They all love each other. When we were coming
Not
up watching the
necessarily.
NBA, these teams really fucking hated each other.
Definitely on court. Like off court, they might have been playing golf together, but on court,
little
they hated
but
each other.
Nowadays, they're all buddy.
But I think the playoffs is changing that.
Look, I mean,
this year.
To your point, Vic, yeah, all right, a handshake, sure. But I don't like that they don't hate each other anymore.
But still,
the
some of them do. I
The
think some of
Celtics and
them
the
do.
Lakers,
It's
all
still
those
beef
years,
Some
should
of
still
them
be
do.
based on the history. But back then,
I think the playoffs this year in the NBA is better this year because all these guys got a chip on their shoulder. And you see guys who usually friendly all season pushing each other around. You saw fucking Chris Paul, one of his ex teammate, push him on the ground.
Right.
It's on right now. That's why I think
Brad Stevens is doing a hell of a job. That's the story of the playoffs.
Yeah.
No Gordon Hayward, no Kyrie, and this
Celtics
dude.
coach.
This
He's
dude,
amazing.
You don't. How often are you talking about the coach?
Yeah.
It's easy to talk about LeBron carrying because he's carrying.
Right.
He's LeBron. He's brawling all over the place.
Figuring it out.
Old Mr. Butler Bulldog.
Butler.
is
He
doing
really paid off.
He's doing it. Danny Ainge, Mormon bastard that he is.
He's got some weird hair these days.
Does
Speaking
he
of
really?
hair,
I haven't
yes.
seen. I've never.
Google Danny Ainge.
I can't.
Danny Ainge. There's some weird stuff out there. Where does LeBron go next year? Everyone's talking about that.
Stays in Cleveland.
Now Vegas even has odds.
Stays
What
in
are they
Cleveland.
saying?
Philly.
Philly's on the
I heard
list.
Philly a couple times.
If you go Western Conference, then you got to get through Houston and Golden State. If you stay in the East,
What if you
it's
go to
still
Houston?
a little easier.
What if you go to Houston?
Then they still got to get through Golden State and Durant and them.
And they
but
got Paul
the West,
and
I'm with you.
Harden
Okay, sure.
and LeBron.
I'm just saying.
Houston would be a good spot because he's running out of years. He wants to win more championships.
At least 2-3
Yeah,
months.
I think he wants to go to LA because I think that's where his kids
there's
and
no
family
team
are.
there.
No, that's the problem.
There's Booger Idiot 1 and Booger Idiot 2.
Yeah, the son.
I think the Sixers, that team is set for him.
That team
That would be
is
a good
strong
spot.
right
Good.
now,
Ben
man.
Simmons.
Looks good. Embiid.
And Embiid.
What's
And then
happening
you
to
add
Philly?
LeBron James. Forget it. I think that team's made. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there now.
If he goes there, they win at least 3 in a row.
He's not coming to New York. He's not going to LA.
Yeah, that dream is over. The New York dream is over.
Hey now, the dream is over.
Every time I saw LeBron in a
Crowded
Yankee
house.
hat,
Oh, Crowded House.
Crowded house. The Finn brothers, Neil and Tim Finn.
Cutting. What was Cutting
Cutting
Crew's
Crew.
song?
I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been
something to say.
I teased it earlier, but I need your music knowledge. So I did a podcast with Carl from his cabin.
Right.
And he was talking about how he lost his virginity when he was 12.
Carl.
Who was the guy? Tim, is this thing on?
You defend Carl, too, because Carl's not here.
You love Carl.
But he
Of course I
told
do.
me,
I'm going to get a good joke on the nigga, though.
he told me, I go, so who'd you lose your virginity to? He said a very famous R&B singer's daughter, but he wouldn't tell me who it was. And I'm like, I'm gonna ask Vic.
So the person he actually lost
said
it to is
Natalie Cole.
Very famous R&B singer, I think singer or group member.
somebody from Kool and the Gang.
Well, it was the set. He said they were really big in the 70s.
Somebody from Kool and Robert Kool Bell, but James Taylor, not James Taylor, James Taylor. the Celebrate.
Black
all-
dude, yeah.
The lead singer for Kool and Gang for a lot of those hits was James Taylor.
Right.
JT.
Okay.
So it's either him or maybe Robert Cool Bell, the founder of Cool. But then there's other. I'm guessing Jersey.
Why are you thinking that way though?
Because he grew up in Jersey. Carl grew up in
Right,
Jersey.
and they all grew up. Yes.
Yeah, Carl grew up in Jersey, and that's a Jersey man. Robert Cool Bell from Jersey. Yeah, that's my guess.
I needed you in the cabin.
Now, I could be wrong.
That's a good guess, though.
Okay, but there's other Jersey soul bands
That's
from the
a good
70s.
guess.
What other bands from the 70s
From Jersey.
From Jersey. That's. Oh,
Yeah, Robert
I think
Cool
we're getting
Bell.
closer.
Yeah. So, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Oh, he told me there's no way I'll never tell you, or I'll never.
He'll
mention-
never let it go.
He won't let it go on the show.
I told you about making out with Chili from TLC. didn't
I mean, nigga, you know I made
Did
a
you really?
Well, you know
yes. I know where he's going.
I got video with her.
Wait, you
I
started
got video.
No.
No, Chili's my peoples. I love Chili.
Rosanda.
But you made out with her.
In first class. It's just on an overnight flight, just for a second.
He did tell me. You told me that story before.
Yeah, and I did, and then I got a little too cocky, and she told me to go back to my fucking seat.
Just give you a taste.
Totally. I was so excited. I thought I had the whole Grammy weekend planned.
Wait, so
The whole weekend.
you're just in the middle of America.
I'd gotten upgraded. We were taking an overnight red eye from
She's
Atlanta.
the best part. I did Good Morning America with her.
She's a
good people.
sweetheart.
The
Yeah,
best.
she's
the
a
best.
Wait, I gotta hear this.
And so, then her seat was open, and she had this juice from this juice place that's down in the hood. It's like only at a black people Atlanta thing. And so she's got this gallon jug, and she's pouring everybody juice. And I think she's giving out drinks, but she doesn't drink.
Right.
And she's just pouring out, And so she goes, hey, do you want some of this? I'm in the seat. I'm in a row behind them. And I go, only if it's from blah, 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 blah. I say the name of the place, and then she looks at me like, oh, my God. She's so,
Right.
So I jump up and move next to her, and now we're taking off, and we're talking. Everybody's turning their lights out. They're all going to sleep.
Oh!
That's going on.
How do you blow that?
I got two vodkas. I'm pouring vodkas into the peach juice mixture she's giving me. And I'm drinking, and so we're sitting there chatting. She goes, "You're funny, Alabama." And I just tell her I'm from Alabama. She just keeps calling me Alabama. We just get closer and closer. About an hour into the flight, I just go for it. And she totally kisses me back. And then like we're making out for a couple of seconds. Then I go, so where y'all staying? And she goes, I'm staying at the Four Seasons. And I go, I live 2 blocks from there.
Too forward, Vic.
Right?
Did he get to dry hump her leg at least?
Nothing. That was it.
She was like, I just
Yes,
changed my
go back
reservations.
one row behind me, get back.
But that was when she heard that. That was
I
when
said
she
something
said,
like, hey, and she's like, I don't know what you think's going on here, but you need to get your ass back to your seat.
wow.
And all I remember doing is I'm like, you kiss me back. I'm like, you kiss me back. You kiss me back. I didn't make that up. You kiss me back. She's like, okay, I might have kissed you back, but
But I'm not
that
fucking
didn't
you.
mean I'm fucking you at the Four Seasons. It's the Grammys, dickhead.
She's good people, so.
She's lovely.
Lovely,
And how do you
beautiful
know
girl.
her?
I met her from years ago, but we did Good Morning America together too. And I try to put my thing in her. That's what I do.
And how did that work out?
Said I'm not Henley.
It didn't work out,
It didn't work out too well.
but it was nice.
We're 0 for 2 between us.
Yeah, but she's great. I'm trying to get her on
No,
race
she's
horse.
really cool.
All right, we called in the right-hander.
All right, Ben's back from the pen. Drinking a
Tim
Schaefer.
met his pitch count.
Can
We
get
got
one
Ben
more
back.
of these going?
Yeah, whatever.
Where's Fix?
Yeah.
I'll do one more.
By the way,
Larceny.
Tim, you got to put your credit card down.
What was it,
This is
Vic?
on Westwood
Larceny.
They don't pick up the tab.
Huh?
Free advertising. This and
Now with your weed money running around.
You and your weed
I
money.
can't pay attention.
Hey, ho.
Boo.
Have you been to Jamaica?
Yes.
It's amazing.
I love Jamaica.
I love
I go to
Jamaica.
the hood though. I remember I told you the story
I was too scared,
when
man.
we drove through the hood and they had a log, like a tree log in the street.
Right.
And there's two dudes,
Yeah.
one with a machete, and they go like this, pay toll.
Yeah, toll
Pay
booths.
toll.
You know, pay toll. And then they rolled the log and they're like, Ben
do.
Ben travels. Pay a toll. You're like, all right.
I got to know the guys that were selling weed on the beach, and it got to a point, and I was filming videos, whatever, and they're like, "You want to see the farm?" I wanted to see the farm so bad.
Why
but
didn't you go?
I'm too white.
Kidnapping. He thought he was gonna get kidnapped.
Called you for ransom.
You should have gone.
You're too white.
I would go in a minute.
You would have went.
Absolutely.
One time we were
They
driving.
said it was 45 minutes into the
Fine.
mountain.
Why
It's
wouldn't
fine.
you?
One time we were
Fine.
driving.
Mountain?
They're killing tourists in
We were
Jamaica.
driving in an open Jeep.
Right.
Just driving. A Jeep pulled up next to us. A dude jumped in our Jeep to ask for a cigarette. That's Jamaica,
And
man.
you got one. and
Oh,
you-
we was like, how many you need?
yeah, right.
Marijuana is finally legal there. You could carry 2 ounces.
As soon as I land, they're like this. You need smoke?
Yeah, that's the first
Well,
thing.
that's what's-
I'm like, ain't you TSA?
Dude,
You know how when you're in Hawaii, they give you the lei when you get off the plane?
Yeah.
In Jamaica, they hand you a bail.
Yeah.
And a paddle, and you just paddle your bail to your resort.
But the guys on the beach, they're so pissed it's legal now because they're like, very nice. I should have acknowledged that a little more. Very good. But the guys on the
Which
beach,
way's the Hilton?
but the guys on the beach, they're pissed off because now that it's legal, that everyone
Yeah.
between the airport and the resort are offering. So by the time you get to the beach,
You don't need them.
those guys are like,
their
fuck.
business.
They're like, business was great, many years ago. Now it just.
But that works
sucks.
out for me because then I can get a cheap price on the beach because I'm going to smoke through whatever I get when I land.
And the funny thing is, they're like, every citizen in Jamaica could grow 6 plants. That's the
Really?
limit. So they said pretty much everyone has 6 plants grown in their backyard.
And I'm
That's
such
that's
an
also-
animal.
That's a Dutch thing, too.
Yeah.
Really?
No, that's absolutely.
Let's
There's
ask the Dutch.
No.
They don't know. Yeah, that's, you can try 6
Aren't you
plants.
allowed to grow a certain amount of weed when you're growing up in Holland? How
Yeah,
mu-
hey,
how many-
give him that mic
Is it a
back.
numbered?
Hold on. Talk
That's a
on-
law, right? We're not making.
Well,
You're allowed.
I'm
to-
live from.
You're allowed.
What's your
you're,
name?
You're on there. What's your name?
My name is Christian. That's
Christian, nice to
Christian
meet you.
Christian.
from
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. What
Yes.
street? What straat?
I live on the houseboat on the ijsbaan
Oh,
pad.
near the Leisterplein? Near the
I
Leisterplein?
love
Yes,
that.
of
We know
course.
your country.
You love my country.
I love it.
But
I
what
love
do you
it.
want to know about weed?
So
How many plants can you?
We are allowed to grow 3 plants
How many?
legally.
3?
3.
Okay.
But in case there are 2 dying, you are allowed to raise 5. Only
Little
3
loophole.
of them.
But 3 of them you can harvest?
Sorry?
Can you harvest the whole 5 or you got to only
no,
harvest
3,
3?
only
No,
3.
you are officially.
But you know what happens.
let's-
There we go.
officially.
There we go. That's
we
what I'm
are
talking
allowed
about.
to harvest.
Well, you ain't going to waste 2 plants if they grow, though, right?
My neighbors do it fanatically, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, they do it. Yeah.
Nice.
Now, but so growing up there, by the time you're in high school, aren't you kind of over all this? It's not even.
No, when it's free available, you're not so interested anymore.
Right.
You know?
So
I agree.
right.
It's the same way because
No.
the only guys you see in Amsterdam which are totally stoned are the foreigners.
Yeah, the
like
tourists.
Italian, the Americans,
Yeah.
the English, they go
Yeah.
over the top. Once in a while, one of them jumps in the canal and never comes
never
up
circles.
again.
That's okay.
Yes.
You don't see them again.
That's natural selection.
Right, that's right. That's culling the herd.
Well, I know a professor in psychology, criminology.
Okay.
He is researching the drug abuse
Okay.
all over the world. Amsterdam happens to be the only city which is diminishing.
Yes, because it's all
Okay.
very
All the
readily available.
capitals over the
I
world.
agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
I'm very curious what happens now in California when they're free
Right.
cannabis and these things.
It's not going to be a big deal anymore.
Yeah,
It's already becoming like that.
because it's getting out of the criminal circuit.
Yes.
And it's becoming, legal.
When it's not criminal, it takes some of the fun out of it. A little bit.
Well,
little bit. It's like
we find
prostitution.
something else, Maybe,
Yeah, we do.
maybe you buy a gun or something.
Have you been to,
I have a
the Paradiso? You seen a show at the Paradiso?
Yes, of course, a lot of them.
That's one of my favorites.
Paradiso.
I told them I performed on Jurgen Raymond's show. You know Jurgen Raymond's TV show?
Yes, I know
I
that.
performed there 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He's from the
Ah.
Senegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's a fan of that guy.
No, he's a good guy.
Yeah, no, he's not impressed.
Yeah.
No,
The
he's
Dutch not impressed with
Jurgen, wait.
Jurgen Raymond is a big guy in
Right.
Big
Holland.
star over there. He's the
Yeah.
fucking Johnny, whatever.
Yeah, also his drag.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a drag.
A drag.
A drag
A
queen.
drag queen, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
On the television.
Yes, he
show.
does his character.
All right.
Yes, it's very
what do you
funny.
do?
It's really
What do you
funny.
do?
Is it funny?
I'm in renewable energy. I'm a CEO.
Yeah.
Now wait, I
make
believe
some
Holland
money.
is energy independent.
No, Holland.
see?
When you look at Europe, there's a list, and besides Malta is on the bottom. Then second on the bottom is Holland.
Oh, so you're not? I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
no, it's really devastating how our policy is working out.
With natural resources?
And with natural resources, when you look at Germany, it's the top one in the world.
But why? Why is it
I
different?
thought you guys were
Because
doing it right.
no, we're not doing it right. On the contrary, even.
See, no,
I was on the-
dumbass American.
What?
Well, American is worse, of course. When you look in the world,
Here we are. Yeah.
when you look in my
but
field, first is Germany, second is China, and when you look
Wow.
at Europe, it's Germany is the first in the world, and the only thing they did was making policies which are sustainable for 20 years, so you can make a business plan on it.
Right.
Right.
You can grow the business.
Whereas,
Right, so fuck
whereas
this.
in Europe, in Holland, it changes over
Every year, yes.
every 4 years. It changes.
So you can start a business and you'll be fucked over a fucking policy a week
Yes,
after.
exactly. So you have to well, we are startup. We exist now 5 years, but what we did is make it flexible, so
Right.
we can change with the flow.
With
of
the flow of it.
policy.
Is the politicians making it like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course,
politicians.
Trump-
We're right-wing politicians.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Trump's bringing back the coal industry here in America.
But
so
Trump is an idiot. Sorry to say.
Say it again with your accent. Say it again. Say
Trump
it.
is an idiot. It's unbelievable
Sounds
that
like his wife.
such a moron is it. You know this joke? The Russians said we were the first one to put a dog in space,
Yeah.
and now we put a monkey in the White House.
Wow, that's pretty good.
you're gonna let him get away with that?
That's pretty good stuff. And it's a little embarrassing.
It's funny.
I'm letting it slide. I'm
I
letting it
don't like
go.
that. No, guys, have a nice one.
She's cutting you off. She's like, shut up.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you. That was
Thank you,
awesome.
Christian.
We
Thank
love
you,
all the
man.
knowledge.
Thank you, man.
Oh,
No.
we finally got something out of the
Yes.
Dutch.
Good news.
No kidding.
Good
That
news.
was amazing.
That makes sense, though, that the locals aren't smoking the pot. It's all the foreigners.
Yeah, it's never
what he
the
said.
they
Makes
laugh
sense.
at you as you go like
Yes.
this. Where can I smoke?
Like
You're like
they're over
Americans.
it.
That way, stupid.
Just like he said, they're over it by 18.
Yeah, they
It's just
done.
completely-
Right.
Just like the drinking age in Germany is 15.
Yeah,
You
you're
don't-
done. You're
They're
over.
done.
Because you don't feel like you're getting away with anything anymore.
Right.
Growing up in America, you're like, oh, sneaking this.
When
and
you
doing
gotta
that.
hide and do
But
shit.
when it's out in the open and acceptable, forget it.
I like to see visible crutches. That's what Wanda Sykes taught me. If I don't see your visible crutch, you're doing something that's really fucked up, like fucking children. If you don't eat too much or drink too much in front of me, what are you doing too much you shouldn't do?
Something's going on.
Something's going on.
Behind closed doors.
He's a genius, and it's
You're
true.
a fucking wizard.
You know,
I
we were
love it.
talking about pot and businesses and stuff. The business we need to get into is the vaping.
Yeah. Oh, my boy owned one of the biggest vaping spots. They sold it for
Vaping
$500 million.
What?
Snoop Dogg was on his. Yes.
Wait, what?
Have you seen Snoop Dogg in
Yeah.
the Joker's
He's from
Wild?
Colorado.
Sorry, have you seen Snoop
Oh,
Dogg?
yeah, the TV show. Yeah. It's funny.
I
Yeah.
do like it. I do like it.
Every-
Because they're only playing for $100.
Yeah.
They're playing old school 70s money. They brought back the Joker's Wild and Snoop Dogg's the host.
I haven't
I'll
seen
see you
it.
the info, though, Opie,
my favorite
about the
part-
pin with my boy.
But they're playing 70s money. It's the most you can win is like $900.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's what makes it.
That's
Joker,
so
Joker,
funny.
Joker
Yeah,
gets you
no, I
like
remember
300.
Joker's Wild.
You know.
No, the vaping. You talk to any teacher. The kids are all vaping in school.
Oh, yeah,
they
because you
can't
don't know if it's
stop it.
weed or nicotine
No,
or.
they're mostly like in the nicotine part
Yeah.
of the vaping.
Yeah, it
I
is.
know they're
Yeah.
using it for the for the pot as well, but it is a major problem in the schools in America now.
But you gotta sell how to go.
But they figured out how to get everyone addicted to nicotine again. How
Yeah.
amazing is that?
Technology.
We were almost done with it.
No.
We were almost done with
And
it.
then they built robot dicks you could suck it out of. Suck that R2D2 dick.
Godfather 3 sucked right back in again.
kidding. Just when I
Robot
was
dicks.
out,
Is
they
robot
pulled
dicks.
me back in.
I like robot dicks. I do like it.
Yeah, I like robot.
Did you ever say you
Well,
said
I don't
robot
like
dicks?
robot.
No.
I don't want to. Right.
Oh, if I didn't have to suck a dick, I'd rather a robot dick.
I'd rather be
I like how he referred to the vaping as a robot dick.
But yeah, because you can sneak it inside and not light something. When you don't have to bring out a flame and light it, you can sneak it anywhere. On a plane, good luck stopping me from vaping on a plane.
Are people vaping on planes?
Of course they are.
I haven't seen it yet.
You're not supposed to.
Because it's so quick and
Yeah,
slick.
no, I understand.
You
that.
go in the bathroom, it's no smoke.
Right.
That's just to beat the planes.
I
Those
always
vapors.
enjoyed the do not tamper with the.
I'm like, who is the dude in there breaking shit?
When do you ever see the word tamper?
Yes.
Ever.
You know the hack. You know the hack joke about when you go on a plane and they still have ashtrays.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I finally learned why they have ashtrays on planes in 2018.
Okay.
Anyone want to guess?
Why?
Because they know people are going to sneak cigarettes.
Sneak 'em.
So they're like, "Fuck, we should have ashtrays just in case."
Because they'll start a fire if you don't if they ash on the ground.
That's why they still have ashtrays on planes.
That's
how
hilarious.
great is that?
Okay.
So I want to make sure they're using them.
I read it in Newsweek, so I know it's true. We got to mention the lady that got sucked the fuck out of that plane.
Oh God!
I was talking to a pilot. He goes, "The odds of that happening, you can't even put a number on it."
What happened? Get sucked out.
Halfway out.
Enough to kill her.
They were pulling her back
Enough to
in.
kill her, right.
Yes.
Right. Enough to kill her.
He says it's so rare that a piece of the engine would fly off to begin with. Then it has to hit one of the windows, which it did, making a hole and then sucking her out. He goes, you don't even understand the odds of that fucking
God
happening."
really wanted her.
No kidding. That's what
God
I'm
was
thinking.
like, where is she? Final destination. She thinks she got away from that last crash?
He's like, I'll figure it out.
That's a Final Destination lie.
My girlfriend.
How old was she, by the way?
Well, this is where. Thank you. My girlfriend called me, and her only point, and she felt awful because she's a really sweet person, but she read the account of the person that was sitting either in front of or behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
And this person said, "All I know is I looked up and heard a crazy crashing sound, and then some old lady was getting sucked out." My girl looks it up and goes, "The lady was like 45 years old," which is my girlfriend's age. She's
What?
like, she was just mad that the person said old lady.
Right. I'm furious.
The whole point was some 20-something-year-old went, well, all I know is I looked up and some old lady was getting sucked out. And then my girlfriend goes, old lady? She's my age.
Yeah, 45 is not an old lady.
Right. She was just she wasn't concerned at all about the tragedy. It was just like, what fucking 26-year-old said old lady?
45 is old.
What do you mean, 42 or whatever?
Whatever.
That is brutal.
That is great.
But she did almost get
It was Southwest?
It was Southwest.
So let me
the
ask
commercial
you,
for them.
Let me ask you this: so they had an electronics show in I think Japan, and they were talking about drones, and now they have passenger drones. Would you get on a Ben?
Yes.
You
I've
know
seen them.
shit.
No, I've
Yes.
seen them.
Yes.
I mean, not in
Seen
real
'em.
life, but I've seen them.
So
I've seen them on.
the technology is such, just like Uber. You could
That's
call,
cause of the future, by the way.
You could call yourself a fucking drone, get in it. There's no one obviously
Operating.
No,
I'll do it.
You would do it in a second?
I trust an unmanned drone more than I trust a fucking New York City cab driver.
From Ghana.
All right, how about a plane without a pilot? Because they're getting close to that too.
Yes, I would do it. Because
Dude,
these pilots, let me tell you
So
something.
you
Opie.
walk on the plane, you look to the left, and there's
Nothing.
nobody in there.
Fine.
That's not fucking with your
Fine.
head.
You know what? Missiles get delivered that way, and they're accurate as shit. These pilots are not getting sleep. They gotta work
actually well said.
38 hours in a row. That's when that fucking plane crashed upstate New York. One of
going
my
to
friend's
Buffalo.
mothers was on that shit.
No
Going to
kidding.
Buffalo, yes. My girlfriend's fucking friend's mother was a stewardess, a flight attendant on that flight.
That was
And all those-
That
and
was
the-
pilot error, right?
It was pilot
they
error
were-
because the pilots had no sleep.
Right.
They had to do fucking 48 hours straight. One was a female pilot, one's a male pilot, and they had to do so many flights in a row, they killed those people.
And the pilots don't make any.
I'd rather a computer, nigga. Computers don't get
Jim
tired.
woke up.
GPS is always GPS.
Look, you're making great points, but psychologically, that's not fucking with your head when you
No.
walk on a plane without a pilot.
When I look in there and I see a face and I'm like this, nigga, I'm trying to look at how much they want to live. That scares me too.
Know what they should do? Because most people, I don't think, would actually go on a plane without a pilot. They should just put some dummy in there and make it believe he's the pilot.
Yes, like on an airplane with the
Oh,
inflatable
the blow-up.
motherfucker.
With Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Turns around, yeah.
That's what they should do, though.
That was the
Smoking a
greatest
cigarette,
movie.
smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
Minimum-
You got to blow him up in his
No,
crotch.
she blew him up. No.
What's up, bro?
Hey! He owns a goddamn stand-up New York, this fella. Come around.
I hate this man.
Hey,
Yeah. Sit down and tell him why you hate him.
No, I don't.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Donnie, Opie. You know he
Shitty
owns
handshake.
Stand Up New York, Stand Up
Shitty
Labs.
handshake.
We talked about maybe me, doing some
I had
stuff
a shitty
out
handshake.
there.
That's the Westwood
Yeah,
One
yeah.
guys,
Oh,
Don.
This week?
Yeah, it was very weird.
Don, get on the mic.
Yeah.
That's the
You
Westwood
didn't
One
go,
guys.
you didn't go
Really?
the full on. No, you didn't.
That's the Westwood One guys.
What's up, Westwood One guy?
He owns Stand Up New York and Stand Up Labs.
That means nothing.
Where Race Wars is.
And I recognized you
Opie
at the
show.
gym the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
I did.
Well,
he was looking at me like,
you gave
and
me
you
a-
said some
no.
shit to your trainer like he doesn't even know
You
who
gave
I
me
am.
a look first, like who
I
the
was
hell is
confused.
that?
I was
yeah,
confused.
but then I think
I was
it
tired.
clicked.
Some girls walking by here.
What are you doing walking around in the neighborhood?
I
know you live
I
close,
live
bro.
You
right,
live from
right
here
around the
too.
corner.
Where are you
Yeah.
coming from?
Joe and the Juice.
I'm trying to introduce two of the richest people I know.
No, we know each other. We talked.
Shut up,
We talked about doing
Yeah, I
some
live
stuff.
right here, 71st.
Yeah,
Street.
yeah.
That. You need
What's going on here?
By the way, Vic gave up on the podcast. He's out on the sidewalk with his drink, just hanging.
Yeah, Vic and Ben. Is that Ben?
All right, I'm gonna step off. I'm gonna go
Alright.
home. I gotta go home for dinner.
Good to see you. Nick.
Wife's gonna yell
I
at
love
me.
you, you know that.
Thanks. I love you.
Where we got?
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. Good
All
to see
right.
you, man.
Good to see
I'll
you,
see you at the
buddy.
club.
All right. That's
Donnie.
yes.
Donnie's a good dude, man. He owns a Stand Up New York Comedy Club, Stand Up New York Labs. He's more Jewish than everybody here.
This is why I love Sherrod. You just get along with everybody.
I do.
And just blow off the fact that there's
I'll
a
bring him
problem.
in.
That there's a problem right in front of your eyes.
What's the problem? That Vic ran away? Why you ran away? You got
problem.
beef with Donnie?
Oh, they're awful.
So everybody's awful.
Sure.
But Sherrod,
Okay.
Comedy club owners? What did they do
Yeah,
to you? What did they do to you?
Sherrod just gets along with
I'm gonna squash the
everybody.
beef.
Yeah, let's squash the beef.
Don't nobody treat Vic Henley no way.
No,
Not in front of me.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the fact that it was so. The energy just went, "Wah," and I was like, "What's going on here?" And then Vic is just socializing with Ben on the sidewalk.
Shut up.
And then I finally figured out there's a fucking problem.
You brought the goddamn club owner in the conversation.
Yeah.
And not a good one.
Stop. Don't do that. He's all right.
No, he's not.
He's fine.
No, he's not.
What did he do? Let me fix.
Let Sherrod fix
help
it.
you.
Yeah.
Let me, your only black brother.
only.
Not only. Youngest.
Youngest, okay, youngest.
Yeah.
Okay, youngest. I'll take that. I'll give you youngest.
I'm the
I'll
young
give
black
you-
brother,
I'll give
nigga. You know Emmanuel Lewis under me. What beef you got with him?
The air conditioning went out about 5 years ago.
He didn't own it 5 years ago.
Yeah, or when under his ownership.
5 years ago?
I don't know.
No, he didn't own it 5 years ago.
Well, then what? But
All right.
under there, him and Goofball brother.
Okay.
And it was 1,000 degrees,
Okay.
and they should have canceled the show and not had it, and they didn't.
They were new to the game.
I just said maybe have some frozen margaritas.
Like free
maybe
ones,
have
yeah.
a bucket of beer. Maybe tell the audience you're about to walk into a fucking sauna.
Yeah.
And you should really cancel the show.
Who was managing then?
Wait, that's why you're so mad?
He takes it personal.
Or is there something else
well,
going
I know
on?
Vic is old school,
they
nigga.
That's why I love this.
They got mad at me. They got mad at me for yelling and screaming. I'm like, you
They
should-
did who? He did?
Him and his brother both, and they were both
Wait,
out there.
because you were sticking up for the audience because it was so hot in there.
I'm like, tell them. You gotta
So
tell
you're
them.
acknowledging what everyone
Yes,
is
and
feeling,
they're-
that it's
they're-
really hot in
and
there,
they're not.
and then they're mad
Not.
that you're acknowledging that the.
And I hosted
They
the
were
show.
new.
Me.
Oh, you were hosted too.
All out.
That's not a bad point for
It was
Vic
a
Henley.
wet
Not a bad point.
T-shirt
All right.
contest. Everyone sweated through.
So they're mad
They're-
because you stuck up for the audience and said, "Damn, it's hot." in
It was
here."
a bad day.
And I'm like, give them a frozen.
Nigga, I got banned from the cellar for saying it was a dead rat on top of the sign.
Did you really?
Yeah, he did.
And it's like, the
Yeah.
manager came in my face like this. Don't say that was a dead rat. I was like, bitch, you should have moved it. And don't tell me
Was it
about
really
it.
a dead brat on the
I
sign?
Yes, there
yes.
was.
A dead rat, yes.
And the air conditioning wasn't on in my fucking story.
So what did they say
They
to
got
you?
mad at me.
Because you
Well,
stuck up for the audience
They're
because
like,
the
well,
AC
you know,
was
you
out.
need to shut up.
Really?
Like, you need to shut up right now that we're introducing the crowds going in.
Thomas, we
don't
get
need to
angry
have
with dumb
you
shit. We do. We
yelling.
get.
Well, I get angry if you're putting me in a sauna and not telling somebody.
You
it's a
had
fucking
worse
sauna.
gigs than that,
Oh, certainly.
nigga.
Sure.
You just expected
Right.
more from them.
Absolutely.
Sherrod, not-
Your
And that's why you got mad.
Your bachelor party.
What?
It was a sweaty fist fight.
Horrible.
Fist fight?
Cockfighting.
I love
illegal blackjack table. Really? No. Are you kidding me?
All of the above.
All
What,
of the
what I
above.
love about Sherrod is he just wants everyone to get along. And,
Yes, I
and
don't
that's
want none of my
almost-
friends
that's almost
fighting.
impossible.
He's really nice
My
about that. He
white,
is
my
really
blacks.
nice.
I want everybody, my
Shrod.
Asians.
Sherrod, I respect that.
You saw how good I was to the Dutch people?
Fine.
I named all the dumb towns in a stupid country.
Right. But the reality
Nobody
of that
cares.
is no good. And I could.
That dude's a pile of shit.
No, but listen, be
Fuck
nice.
him,
He's
a pile
not.
of shit.
Vic, listen to me. If you trust anything in me,
I believe you.
I know. Listen, a piles of shit don't want to be better.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. Certainly.
Huh?
No, you got
So
me. Right?
good people
Okay.
want to be.
All right.
We got to show them a way. If we don't show them a way, we a pile of shit.
Can I give my 2 cents?
I got it on Vic. I got it on Vic.
I like it. I like it.
And
Be sensible.
And I got to give my 2 cents because I want to keep all this in this podcast because it's too good.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with those guys over there to
Donnie.
bring the podcast.
It's
to
spelled Danny,
their-
but it's Donnie.
Yeah,
It's Israeli.
Because they have an amazing studio and the space
Yeah,
you
you
use.
saw
With,
it.
oh,
Let's cut him off.
I agree with you too much. It is an amazing studio.
and they were, we were trying to work.
You
something
like that
out.
studio too.
Yeah, but then
Why didn't you work it out?
I decided I don't really want like a home for the podcast.
You
I
wanna
mean,
make it
Westwood One's
travel,
gonna
right.
like build something eventually, but I'd rather do this out and about.
But
stuff.
you know you could have still did that. But I'm glad
No,
you're
he-
with
he
Westwood
even
One.
said-
Robert's a sweetheart.
No, Sherrod, he even said if you need space, you still could come over here. I'm like, all right, cool.
Right.
That's all I know about the guy, and he works out at my gym, and he got mad the other day because I didn't recognize him right away.
Oh, you're working the
And
same
then he
gym.
started shit talking his trainer, and then I realized, oh, hey, yeah.
Oh, okay. You should.
I wasn't
recognize
expecting
him.
to
He's
see
not
him
to
at
be
my
recognized. Only if
at
I'm
my
standing
gym.
next to him. But he is a good
And
dude.
to
Though. He is a
Vic's
good
point,
I got no
radio guys are the same way.
Vic, you gotta give him a chance, Vic. He's a better dude than you think.
No, I'm with Vic.
People change, Vic.
If he has beef, he has beef. Let
Vic.
him
Fucking,
be.
then
Let
don't
him
be a liar. Then don't be a liar.
Let him be.
You know, I told
Me
I'm
or
like-
him?
No, him. I just
know.
told him
It's
that,
fine.
that night. I'm like, dude, just say the air conditioner broke and we're going to throw you
Oh.
beer buckets and margarita specials. Just acknowledge it. Don't sell the public a ticket for
Yeah.
a Broadway show
Right.
that doesn't have proper cooling and heating, and you
You're right.
don't want your
You're right.
audience to
You're
be
right.
sitting
You're
there-
right. You're right.
And they're like, you're a little bit sassy, and I'm like, I'm sassy enough to tell you that I don't
You
give a
shoulda
fuck
do
about.
more.
I go, you should tell me I should. I go, I'm screaming at you so bad. You should tell me right now I should never work here again. And then I paused, and he didn't do it, and I went, that's how much of a pussy you are. I just
Vic,
told
because
you.
he wants you there. Vic, because you're a reliable
I was
fucking.
so mean.
You're a
I
mean
was
dude,
so
Vic.
mean. I was so mean.
You were drinking?
I was drinking.
You
I was
son
so
of a
mean.
Vic.
I was so
Have
mean.
you worked there since?
No.
That's a
was it.
shame.
No, I ain't put in.
I should have put you on my show that I had there.
I have not put in to
I
work there.
produced the show there. If I would have known this story before that, I would have booked you on that fucking show.
All right, now you're banging this.
Sorry, I'm angry now.
Why are you angry?
Nah, it's all
Because
right.
you
'Cause
want
I don't
everyone to
like
get
Vic.
along.
I don't like Vic not playing a room.
Well, they were
Every room needs you.
Thank
Vic
you.
is too
I
funny.
love you.
Every
shut out of a room.
room. Any room that I play in, nigga, if you don't play there, it's
Same
not worth
thing.
it.
No, that's how we met.
Well, anyway, that was really cool. I like that. And to your point, like radio guys are the same way. If something is off, the mics suck, the headphones suck, you lose your mind. So if you're in a room and the AC's out and you feel like you're in a sauna, I would
It was so
respect you
bad.
speaking up.
It was so bad.
Here's the thing. Vic had worse shows, nigga.
He's right about that.
So
now,
don't
I
act
always
like
look
it's
back
the
over.
worst
Thank you,
show.
Ben.
Right.
Thanks, Ben.
No, this is Matt. That's
Oh,
Matt.
sorry, Ben. Sorry.
Matt,
no,
Matt.
Ben, sorry, Matt.
You out here?
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Ben, Matt, Dave.
How
Sorry.
did the owner leave?
No, this is the owner of Gebhardt who had us. We haven't plugged the joint in a
He's a good
while.
dude.
It's a great place on 72nd
Great
between
place.
West
This is my new
End
spot
and
to get free
Broadway.
stuff.
16 beers rotating on tap, right?
That's right, 16.
And old school.
And old school
In the
grandpa
cooler.
beers.
What are you?
And a good burger.
What are
And,
you,
and good
Matt?
music, by the
You
way.
don't need to know.
You got some brown in you, nigga.
There's a little bit, maybe.
What's the brown?
somewhere.
I see it.
It's guilty by association.
That's the title of the show.
That's the title right there. Oh my God.
Well, then answer.
Does that work?
It
Guilty by
worked. Totally
association.
worked.
Oh my God, that works. And he likes Pearl Jam, so he can't be that
Oh,
bad.
you can't go wrong.
I
with
love Pearl Jam. He's a huge fan. We
Air
were talking
home
before we
run,
started.
baby.
Huge tickets.
Look, he's got the tattoos and everything.
And all the whole band.
Well, let's talk a little bit more.
He's seen the band 35 times.
Did you really?
That's a fan.
I had a music show on Spotify called Incoming. Me and Joe Levy, the head of Rolling Stone.
All right.
He's the editor of Rolling Stone. But
The
we
documentary-
interviewed Pearl Jam many times.
The documentary, amazing.
Yes, yeah, it's good
Still
stuff.
one of my
Absolutely.
faves.
That was
Really
in
good.
that was
He's a
early
documentary-
90s?
Yeah,
When was
no,
that?
was only a few years back.
Oh.
But on their 20th anniversary.
Oh.
The PJ20.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that was
that's
an amazing documentary.
Yes, we're big dot guys.
Right
so,
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Did you see the
Just
Andre the
that
Giant
time and
documentary
wow.
yet?
Oh, so good.
Damn good.
So good.
We'll have to talk about that.
I ain't see that yet.
It's
Oh,
so
man.
good.
Andre
It's
the Giant
it's
one?
incredible.
I heard about it already.
He had
But most
he had
of
to
the
take a
HBOs
shit. Where did he take a shit in the tub or something when he went over to Japan?
Yeah.
He had to take or buckets. I'm trying to remember exactly.
No.
On the planes he had to take shits in buckets
That's
when he
one
flew over to
option.
Japan
He
because the
couldn't
flight's
get
so
in the air.
long he couldn't get in the bathroom.
In the air.
So they had buckets for him to shit in.
Because he can't get into the Chilean.
I'm not worried about
miners.
him. The flight crew. Who's on bucket detail, nigga?
And then the amount of
The
beer,
heaviest buckets you ever had.
and the amount of beer he drank in
Yeah,
it.
he drank. Yeah. I heard about that. Like 10 fucking 12 packs.
Over 100, easy.
They asked Ric
Over
Flair
100
10, 12
easy.
packs.
in the middle of it. They asked Ric Flair like, "Did he get a lot of women?" And Ric Flair went, "He wears a size 9 ring finger."
Right. What do you think? Right.
He fucked groups of girls at a time. He was like Will Chamberlain. The bigger the dude, the bigger the group of girls you fuck at one time.
Unbelievable.
Why am I
favorite-
not taller?
What's your favorite Pearl Jam song?
Oh, it's ever changing. I mean, it all depends on what day it is. But I don't know. I like a lot of the.
I still go elderly
Always
woman
so.
behind the counter
Oh.
in a small town.
Yeah.
And on this, my old second ex-wife, mother-in-law. I just wish he would fade away. I just wish he would. I just hate this song. I just wish he would fade away. And I'm like, that's my fucking favorite song.
You knew it was over after that mother.
No, I'm divorced.
But you got it.
I like Green Disease. That's what I got to say too.
But when it comes to their live shows, when they do elderly woman behind the counter and they say hello to the audience and everyone screams
And
hello
yeah,
back
the
and the
lights
lights
come on
pop
real
up,
quick.
Now that I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I'll
Bring it
never
through here.
get sick of that.
Yeah.
That is just
Kimber
simply
Little Dog stuff I'll never get tired of.
right.
If I bring the band through here,
Yep.
can I get all drinks on the house?
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
All right.
What
I
do
just
you
want to know.
How about that? Make it happen first, and then
Nigga, I'll make all things happen. I use a black card, even on them.
Me too.
Who you calling a nigga? We going to get parts.
We need to hijack this place. This should be the new studio.
I like this place, yes.
Ben, we're hijacking your.
I live
No,
right
it's
across the
Matt.
park.
Matt, no. He's
That's
no,
Ben,
Matt.
that's Ben.
Sorry,
That's
I'm no.
I know, Vic, white people get confusing.
I do. They all look
And
alike.
he's barely white, this one. They got some
Dave.
brown in him.
Dave is.
No, this nigga got some brown in him. Sorry. Nigga, what are you?
Sorry, man.
Latino?
Sorry, man.
Neither. He said neither. A little weird.
Neither Latinos.
Neither.
Israeli?
Nope.
Boo.
No. Are you
No,
gonna
I'm
say?
a Gebhardt. Actually, I'm German.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
German. There's some Italian. There's
What
some
kind of, where's your
Irish.
German family from?
No idea.
So Sicilian is his Italian. Back me up, Robert.
That's true.
I know what I'm looking at, Nick. I know what I'm looking
I believe your
at.
profiling. I believe your profiling.
I know a nigga when I
love
see
your
him. You can fool these niggas. I see you at Thanksgiving, nigga.
I love a good profiling.
Yeah,
Coquito.
Perfect good profiling.
Bring me some sweet coquito.
Let's let Matt go. But thanks for having us, Matt.
Thanks,
Gebhardt's on 72nd Street. If
Matt,
you're in
I'm
New
sorry
York
for calling
City,
you Ben.
we're coming back.
All right.
Matt, we're going to be
Ben,
here
I'm sorry
more,
for
Matt.
calling
This work out all right for you? Hey, did
Absolutely
Westwood,
right.
Westwood 1 pay the tab?
No, not yet.
What?
What?
What? We need more shots in that case.
Work something out?
He's panicking. Tim's panicking.
We worked it out. We paying fucking costs.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Ah,
Matt. This
cheers,
was
buddy.
awesome.
Thank
We're,
you, man.
we're going to do a live podcast here soon. Imagine if we invite the fans to this joint. How cool
Yeah,
this
so
would
you can
be.
stand around and come inside.
Well, yeah, man.
Spend some money.
All right, you want to go eat or something? Or oh, by the way, I gotta apologize to you.
pee.
Last time I saw you, I had a little too many margaritas and I was a little loud.
Corey, Corey shushed us.
Yeah, she did.
Wait, what happened?
We went to. There's a great place called
West Side Comedy Club, Playa Betty.
You do West Side
I
Comedy.
performed
a
there
lot.
this
Yeah.
weekend. Last one, yeah.
And
this
then
weekend.
and then I was being loud talking.
Liquor me lickery.
And they threw you out?
No.
I yelled at him.
You were on stage?
No.
Corey Kahaney was and
She
went
was
and
mad.
looked up and saw both of us and went, "Hey, shut the fuck up."
DC Benny
And
was
it was
embarrassed
me
and
and
ran
Goofy-
out of there.
It was me and Goofy Boy.
She was right to tell y'all to shut the
and
fuck
we
up.
were, and she was.
We were loud, and I was trying to tell him the ideas for the podcast, and Vic's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea." And I didn't realize how loud we were.
No, we.
Too
we got
excited. And you had margaritas and a fucking California-styled
I stopped mine.
restaurant.
It was totally on him. At the end of the night, he goes, "Hey, I'm sorry." And there was just like a good seeing you.
All right, why don't we get out of here? So Sherrod
More money at
Small,
Sweatchester. Yeah.
I missed you guys. This is the first time we've done something on more of a professional
Other
level
than
since.
killing that Asian girl, we did together, Opie. Tell the fans we smothered that Korean. Talk about her.
Sherrod, what do you want to plug? Race Wars?
Race Wars. Go to
Yeah.
patreon.com/Race Wars.
Great.
And who knows? Maybe soon it'll be on Westwood One if the money's right.
If the money's right.
I need more cash than Opie.
money.
I got black children.
One.
Yes, and she's greedy.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And my other pal,
Thank
Vic
you.
Henley. God, this was so much fun. Vic, what do you got going on, man?
I got Ron White, Kathleen Madigan, and VicHenley.com. All tour dates available. So
Nice.
That's it, man.
And Ben, you want to promote where you're going to be in the neighborhood?
I'm going to be at Gebhardt's Beer Culture, and right down the street is Emerald Inn, and that's pretty much where I go.
I love Ben.
Which bar around here was...
Oh, I want to also say that
yes.
Race Wars is going to be live in Detroit at Smalls Bar, the Rock and Roll Bar, June 7th and 8th. We're doing 3 shows, and we're doing a live podcast. Me and Kurt Metzger.
Is this the Looking for Mr. Goodbar bar? Anybody?
Mr.
I don't know.
You know the story, Looking for Mr. Goodbar? The
I know
actual
the movie.
bar is in the... You know the movie?
Yeah, I know the movie.
And what's the movie about
Diane
again?
Keaton.
Yes.
No, it's she's just roaming around fucking people.
But she gets murdered, right?
Yeah, that's it. That
Well, it's
happened
based
right
on a
here.
real
Yeah.
story, and the bar... Which bar is it?
It's Emerald Inn. It used to
It
be.
is Emerald Inn.
Inn.
When
It used to be.
Yeah,
What?
it's,
It used to be Allstate. Bar Allstate before
It's
this.
a true story, like a based on true story about it.
Yeah, I think so.
The movie Looking for Mr. Goodbar is based on a real story, and it's based on that bar, which is now
Yeah.
Emerald.
I
And
think
she
it was
gets
a,
killed
I think
in
it was a
it?
PDO
Diane
Hurley for a
Keaton.
while.
No,
too.
he's right. It's a true story.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the actual incident happened just a few buildings away from here.
Well, or then you get the other one on Dorian's.
Oh, yeah. That's near
Yeah,
my house.
That's
our house.
That's the Preppy Murder one.
Yeah,
on the
Preppy
other
Murder, yeah.
side.
It's
Oh,
2 blocks
I've
up
heard
from
of
the
that.
comic
Oh,
strip.
yeah, the steak place.
2
right?
blocks
Yeah,
up
yeah.
from the comic
Yeah,
strip.
you know,
Yeah, we've been in Dorian's many a night, nigga,
I
the
know,
last 20
yeah,
years.
hey.
Wait,
I almost killed 2 girls in it myself. Jewish
that's
as
where that
well.
went down back in the
Fishers.
day?
Well, that one,
Amy Fishers.
the Dorian's, he drug her, but just like
Yeah, then went to
you
the park.
just said,
Right.
the first one, and
Right,
then we
right.
went to the second one.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I guess we did it. Do we need a professional ending to this there, Tim?
An eye shade issue tonight. Women are holes to put your penis in. I'm sorry.
I'll let the voice guy do the professional ending. We're out of here.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Whoa.
Missed you.
Thank
Miss
you,
you, Opie.
I don't understand the
Opie. I'm the only black man that misses you on Earth.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
That's true.
Completely true. Completely
Thought about it, and
true.
he was like, holy shit.
Completely true.
I got the market corner on black love for Opie.
I'm still trying to figure out the Korean girl thing that we smothered. Maybe on a future podcast.
That was in the future. I gotta pee.
So there you have it, live from Gebhard's in New York City. While the boys go to grab a bite to eat and sober up a bit, I'm left here to tell you, keep the reviews and 5-star ratings coming at Apple Podcasts. Share this 2-hour free-form drunken babble of a conversation with a friend. But let's keep the Korean girl thing between us. Because what happens on a podcast stays on a podcast. Forever. And who knew that one of my bosses here at Westwood One has aspirations of being the Walter White of the cannabis industry? Which begs the question, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
Say my name.
OpieRadio.
You're goddamn right.
From the Westwood One Podcast Network.